Hi again, everybody, from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis, along with Evan Bach, Brian Thomas, Andrew Roderick, and Dale Hummel. This is Mike Parker welcoming you to Brook Night at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field for the final of the four-game series between the Corvallis Knights and the Cowlitz Black Bears. And on this very special Brook Night to honor Brook and his 10 championships, 7 consecutive as the skipper of the Knights in the West Coast League, 2 of his best friends in life, coaches for him in teaching and instructing him in the great game of baseball. Jack Riley is here. Dick McLean is here. Other friends of Brooks are here to honor the skipper tonight. We will hear Branson Keel coming up in our pregame show. Also, in a sense, even though it's not on Brook Night, I did the interview last night after the Knights were swept in a doubleheader by Cowlitz. I visited with Branson on a night that highlighted Utah Utes pitching. Starters in both games of the doubleheader, Coulter McAnally and Peyton Risky, started games. And late in the game, when the Knights looked like they might make a comeback and salvage the nightcap, Branson Keel was loosening up in the bullpen. He did not get into the game, but I had the opportunity to visit with the outstanding right-hander from Rapid City, South Dakota, getting ready for his senior year for Gary Henderson in Utah. We'll hear from Branson on Brook Night at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Knights and Cowlitz back in 2 with Branson Keel on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Back at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, our pregame show continues. The Knights and Cowlitz wrapping up the series this evening on Brook Night. Branson Keel joining me following the Knights having a tough time of it offensively. Good pitching, certainly. Branson Keel of the Utah Utes watched 2 of his teammates pitch very well, and Coulter McAnally and Peyton Risky. But come up a little bit short. Branson, we won't dwell on that too much, but let me just ask you what it's like to be with 2 other of your teammates with the Utes as teammates here, and watching them and how they pitched in these games against Cowlitz.
Yeah, it's been great, coming out here with 2 teammates. I mean, it definitely makes it a little bit easier to focus on the things you need to be getting better at. Definitely. Yeah, it's just awesome, All 3 of us come out here, work as hard as we can, try to perfect our craft a little bit and, keep challenging people.
Coach Henderson, Gary was with me on the live stream broadcast in the doubleheader, and he said that you said when you were talking about summer opportunities that you had so valued your experience last year with the Knights that you guys were talking about all of that. You wanted to come back. Tell me a little bit about that, what this place has meant to you.
Yeah. First thing I'd like to say is probably the culture. The culture is, winning culture. Appreciate the opportunity that the coaches that gave me. Uni's awesome. Coach Knight, Kearns, Negs, all of them. The whole thing's awesome. And I just, I just felt like I couldn't recreate how I felt and how much better I got last summer. So told them I'd like to come back.
Well, we're glad you're here, Branson. We were all hoping you'd get into the game. And as we're looking for a rally, you might have pitched in some extra innings. That didn't happen, but we'll see more of you this summer. But when you do go back home, not only will you be reconnecting with Coach Gary Henderson, but Bo Kearns has become part of Gary's staff as a director of ops. What are your thoughts about that and the fact that you're going to be around Bo some more?
Well, Bo's an awesome guy. He works hard, which is, something that I noticed right away. He coaches well, so he's very, very good with people. People understand him, which is awesome. And, yeah, Bo's a hard worker. He's a good dude, and I respect Bo a lot.
And what about Gary himself and pitching for him and competing for Coach Henderson, a guy I've known for a long time, loved him when he was here, an assistant to Pat Casey at Oregon State. What are your thoughts about Coach Henderson?
If I could write it all down on a piece of paper and give it to you, I would. But no, Coach Henderson's awesome. That's a
good word for it.
Gary Henderson. That's all I really got for him. I mean, he's awesome.
He's a good person and a good man, but I think he knows the craft, your craft, well.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about just some of the things that he's imparted to you about the craft of pitching.
Yeah, well, the best part is he's gave me a process to work on and, something to actually focus on and get better at. And also another thing I'd say is that he's very blunt and he's, he doesn't feed around or beat around the bush a little bit. He feeds you the point, and then that's how you get better quicker. So
Branson Keel with me for a little bit more as we get ready for the Knights and Cowlitz wrapping up this series. This will be done, I think, by the time you get to play in the new ballpark. But what does it mean to you to be part of a program on the rise? 33 wins this past year, close to breaking through and getting to a regional. Branson, where do you feel like the Utah program is in terms of momentum going forward, campus ballpark coming, etc.?
It's awesome. I mean, obviously being a part of something that's bigger than yourself is always an opportunity that I'll always appreciate no matter what it is. I think it's hard work, dedication, discipline, all the above. I think that's what the Utes got to keep working for, and, the rest will write itself. So I think that's part of it.
Branson, what are you looking forward to the rest of the summer here? I know it goes quickly, but what are the biggest things you're working on?
Number one, ultimately, I'd like to continue to work on myself as a better person and as a competitor. I think those are two things that are important in life and in the game of baseball. And also just build friendships, build relationships, and, carry those things with me for the rest of my life.
It's surprising to me, Branson, in a sense, how in a short time period, you guys aren't together that long, but I've been around this culture and this program for a long time and seen really what you just talked about happen. I don't know if it always happens in summer ball everywhere, but around here it feels like guys build relationships for life. Do you sense that's happening here?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, the culture here, I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, Coach Knight, he has quite the history here in this league as well. So it starts with him. He's a great leader, phenomenal. And after that, the guys are the same. Great leader, just great people. So,
Branson, we're glad you're part of that. And you're right in the mix with the great people and the culture and being a big part of it. Again, I appreciate you taking time. Good luck the rest of the summer, and thanks for joining me tonight on the pregame show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's Branson Keel of the Utah Utes, sharing thoughts on a number of matters. The Knights, Bo Kearns, Gary Henderson, Coach Yoon, Brooke Knight, and more. We appreciate all of you joining us tonight. We'll be back with the starting lineups in the first pitch in the series finale, the Knights and Cowlitz, coming up on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Okay, so go ahead. Right-hander James DeCramer goes to work on Keaton Grady. Dropped in a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. Comes back with a fastball, a ground ball to second. Peyton Miller up with it. Throws to first, and we are underway in the series finale of the Knights and the Cowlitz Black Bears. 69 degrees, slightly breezy. Partly cloudy after a mostly cloudy day, even a little precipitation along the way today, heading towards 62 before the night is over, but another pleasant night for baseball on Brook night at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Rowan Kelly swings at the first pitch from James DeCramer and fouls it back. No balls and one strike. Just getting underway with DeCramer's second start. A change fouled into the backstop above the Knights on-deck area. The baseball retrieved by none other than the man of the hour, head coach Brook Knight, with his coaches Jack Riley and Dick McLean down in the dugout with him. 0-2 to Rowan Kelly. Jack has interesting history indeed in Longview as the head coach at Lower Columbia Community College. The strike two pitch from DeCramer. Fastball on the inside corner. Strike three called. Quickly two down in the top of the first. Keaton Grady, the shortstop, grounded out. Rowan Kelly in the two-hole and left just struck out. Now Shea Bowen batting third and right. Andy Allenson, the cleanup hitter and designated hitter. Sergio DiCello, the batting fifth at second base. First pitch, fastball strike to Shea Bowen. Bronson Neve hitting sixth at third base. Will Anderson batting seventh at first. Jaron Navarez hitting eighth in center. J.J. Kennett batting ninth and catching. And Mac Robertson on the mound. DeCramer strike one fastball. Fouled back. The count quickly. No balls and two strikes. Mac, a right-hander out of Oshawa, Ontario, and competing at Arizona Western, the starting pitcher for Cowlitz in this finale. No balls and two strikes, two down. DeCramer to the plate. Breaking ball in there. Strike three called. And another strong inning for James DeCramer, who threw 23 tremendous pitches in his Knights debut against Springfield in a really strong first inning here. He's up to about 45 by what he shared with us the other day. Look for nearly double of what he threw against Springfield last week. A 1-2-3 inning with two punch-outs. We'll go to the bottom of the first and give you the Knights lineup when we return. Cowlitz nothing. The Knights coming up after this 90-second break on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Here we go. Blake Wilson, Washington Husky ball player, swings at the first pitch. It's a ground ball to short. The throw from Keaton Grady pulls Will Anderson off the bag. It was going to be close. Wilson, good athlete, can really run, and it'll go as an infield single. Brooks Hatch, the official score, weighing in. And I think he's right in that even if the peg to first from Grady was spot on, Wilson might have beaten it. So the benefit of the doubt to the hitter in this case. A base hit for Blake Wilson, Kaysen Consarinia, the hitter. No score, bottom of the first inning. Mac Robertson to the plate. A ground ball wide of third off the glove of Neve, then off the glove of Grady into left field. And Wilson will go to third with Kaysen Consarinia safely in at first, and that'll be E5. So both players on the left side of Cowlitz's defensive alignment challenged here. The slow ground ball leading to an infield single. Keaton Grady pulling first baseman Will Anderson off the bag, costing the Black Bears any chance for an out. Then a slow ground ball wide of third off the glove of Neve, and Bronson deflecting it into shallow left, enabling Wilson to go to third. So the Knights with a great opportunity early after a very frustrating night yesterday, losing both games of the doubleheader, and even in the win 2 nights ago, they left 15 men on in a 4-3 win. Have an opportunity to get on the board here early against Mac Robertson. First and third, nobody out. A one-hop shot speared by Neve. He holds the runner at third, then throws high, pulling Will Anderson off the bag, and everybody's safe, and the bases are loaded. 2 errors in the inning, back-to-back on Bronson Neve. And Luke Lavin, the designated hitter, to the plate. Well, good things happening for the Corvallis Knights, just with apologies to the Bard of the North, making contact, the title of one of Bruce Coburn's elegant songs. And Luke Lavin, the designated hitter, the batter. Bases loaded, nobody out. The first pitch to Luke, swung on and fouled to the left and out of play towards Waldo Hall. No balls and 1 strike to Lavin. 3 ground balls on the left side have loaded the bases for the Corvallis Knights in the bottom of the first. Blake Wilson at third, Kaysen Consarinia at second, Kevin Takeuchi at first. The strike 1 pitch to Luke from Mac Robertson misses high. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. I hope that Robertson knows of the multiple Juno Award winner and in the Canadian Music Hall of Fame, the great Bruce Coburn. Robertson back to the plate, delivers a strike, and the count 1-2. Blake Wilson leading off in center, Consarinia in the 2-hole in right, Kevin Takeuchi batting third and left. Luke Lavin is the DH at the plate now. On deck, Thomas Verajaro batting fifth at third. Quinn Dufort hitting sixth at first base. The 1-2 pitch to Luke Lavin hit foul off third, out of play. Tyler Howard batting seventh and catching, his host family in the ballpark tonight, the Thornhills. Jennifer and Alan Thornhill with their 8-year-old daughter Renna in the ballpark cheering Tyler Howard on. Howard in the 7th hole catching, Peyton Miller batting 8th at second, Tai Yukamoto hitting 9th at short. 1-2 to Luke Lavin with the bases loaded, nobody out, no score, bottom of the first. And the 1-2 pitch from Robertson sails high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mac Robertson getting the start in this series finale, making his 5th appearance and 4th start. He's worked 14 innings with an ERA of 4.50. 2-2 to Luke Lavin. Robertson delivers outside, ball 3, 3-2. Thomas Verajaro on deck as the Knights try to get a jump and expunge here quickly the frustrations from getting swept yesterday, getting 2 hits in the doubleheader. They have a chance here now to get on the board. And Lavin makes sure that they will. A line drive base hit to right field. Wilson scores. Consarinia right behind him to score. A 2-run single for Lavin, and the Knights lead it 2-0. Well, the Knights here in the first inning, now, they've been helped with 2 errors by Cowlitz, but they've equaled their hit total from yesterday here in the bottom of the first with 2 hits in the inning and lead it 2-0. Blake Wilson and Kaysen Consarinia scoring. Out to the mound goes J.J. Kennett for a conversation with his, in a sense, embattled battery-made Mac Robertson, who deserves a better fate, perhaps. He's made some good pitches. An infield single hit slowly. Blake Wilson legging it out. Back-to-back errors on the Cowlitz third baseman. Then a solid single to right for Luke Lavin. Takeuchi stopped at second on the base hit to right. Now the switch hitting Ferraggiaro at the plate. Thomas takes a strike. 0-1 the count. Billy De La Garza back of the plate tonight. Isaac McAllister, the base umpire. Mac Robertson and J.J. Kent at the battery for the Black Bears. Will Anderson at first. Sergio DiCello at second. Keaton Grady at short. Bronson Neve at third. The strike one pitch runs down and away to Thomas Ferraggiaro. In the outfield for Cowlitz, Rowan Kelly in left. Jaron Navarez in center. Shea Bowen in right. 2 runs across here in the bottom of the first inning. Takeuchi at second, Lavin at first, and now a big lead taken and a balk called against Mac Robertson. A very aggressive lead taken by Kevin Takeuchi, and he actually got himself hung up in no man's land, but he was so aggressive in taking the lead that Robertson flinched and committed a balk. So all is well so far for the Corvallis Knights tonight after getting swept in a doubleheader yesterday. And they're, I think, intent on and anxious to keep adding on here. The 1-1 pitch, Ferraggiaro swings at the fastball, fouls it straight back. 1-2 the count to Thomas, starting the day at 2:33 with a couple of runs batted in, but has a chance for 2 more right here. With the Knights already leading 2-0 and the sun breaking through about as brightly as it has all day long right now. Off speed, a ground ball into right field for a base hit. Takeuchi scores. Lavin will be held at third, with Shea Bowen getting the ball back in. And the Knights lead it 3-0 on the base hit by Thomas Ferraggiaro. The last 2 runs for the Knights unearned, with Consarinia and Takeuchi both getting aboard on errors. Luke Lavin, a 2-run single. Thomas Ferraggiaro with an RBI single. And the pitching coach, Justin Parrish, heading out to the mound to share some thoughts with his pitcher, Mac Robertson. Here in the bottom of the first inning, the Knights have plated 3 and still nobody out with Quinn Dufort, the batter. For replacement glass or new vinyl windows in your home, we encourage you to call Smith Glass in Corvallis and Albany. Smith Glass is a leading residential and commercial glass service for the Mid-Valley and a longtime partner of the Corvallis Knights. Smith Glass on the cutting edge since 1945. Bo Kearns, in what I believe is his final game with the Corvallis Knights tonight, still with the team and has done such a tremendous job. You heard Branson Keel talk so highly of Bo and the entire coaching staff in our pregame show earlier tonight. It's good to see Bo here in the park. Ed Nags coaching at first. Brooke Knight on his special night coaching at third. Quinn Dufort steps in and takes a fastball for a strike. 0-1 the count. 3 runs across in the bottom of the first inning. Cowlitz with its infield at double play depth. Mac Robertson comes back with a strike 1 pitch, and that's high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike the count here in the bottom of the first, and I'm not lying. It's brighter now, I think, than it has been at any point all day long here in the Mid-Valley. A tough sun field for Rowan Kelly out and left. To throw to first base, Thomas Ferraggiaro back. Still a lot of dark clouds around the ballpark. We have a little bit of the Doris Day effect here in the Doris Day show, and most of Doris Day's life, sunshine over her, rain everywhere else. The 1-1 pitch missing a little bit high and away from Mac Robertson. Ball 2, 2-1. 3-0 Knights in the bottom of the first inning. Luke Lavin at third, Thomas Ferraggiaro at first. Thomas being held on by Will Anderson and inching away from the bag. Has a runnerish look. He doesn't go. The pitch to Dufort, a fly ball to left. Kelly fighting that sun, makes the catch, tagging his Lavin on his way to the plate, and scores standing up on the sac fly by Quinn Dufort. The Knights lead it 4-0. Dufort, the Knights' leading hitter at .370, stepping in to the box for his first plate appearance tonight, delivers the sacrifice fly, his first of the season. He has 14 runs batted in. 4-0 Knights in the bottom of the first inning. Tyler Howard, the batter. Thomas Ferraggiaro still at first, 2 down, a 4 spot for the Knights thus far. The pitch on the way to Howard. A chopper to short. Keaton Grady goes to second for 1 and on to first for the inning-ending double play. And the Knights go down on the 6-4-3 twin killing, but they get 4 runs in the inning on 3 hits, 2 big errors, and nobody left. 1 inning in the books on Brook Night night. It's the Knights 4 and Cowlitz nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Andy Allenson, Sergio DiCello, and Bronson Neve, the scheduled hitters for the Cowlitz Black Bears as we go to the second. 4-0 Knights. First pitch, breaking ball, a strike from James DeCramer. 0-1 the count. James pitched for the first time in 17 months last Sunday in Springfield, or Friday, pardon me, in Springfield. He comes back and misses down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. And he was dynamic last week, trying to stay that way here tonight in his first appearance at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The 1-1 pitch is whacked into left field, base hit. Good swing. Andy Allenson taking it the other way. And Sergio DiCello will come to the plate. There is a representative of Major League Baseball in the ballpark tonight, not a scout, but a young man just out of college. In fact, he'll graduate soon from Point Loma Nazarene. I enjoyed visiting with him in the Knights dugout before the game tonight. His name is Kyle Lee with Major League Baseball Sport Science, a new venture for MLB, studying summer league pitchers in various leagues. The West Coast League, the Pioneer League, the Appalachian League, and the Draft League. The first pitch missing high and away, ball 1, 1-0 to DiCello. Breaking ball, a check swing tapper to short. Yukamoto shovels to Miller for 1 on to first, not in time. DiCello runs well, a very good base runner, and hit it too slowly to be doubled up. But the Knights get the lead runner on the fielder's choice, 6-4. 1 away, and Bronson Neve the batter. The upshot of the program is to study training techniques and grip strengths and various aspects of the mechanics and the engineering of pitching with the intent of trying to get ahead of injuries, injury prevention. DeCramer misses with the slider up and in, ball 1, to gather data from these leagues on all pitchers in these leagues, track them, their training techniques, how they test on grip strength and various other forms of tests to see if they can find some common denominators that lead to injuries. DeKramer's 1-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 1-1. So Kyle Lee is in the Knights dugout tonight. He's testing all of the Knights pitchers in various ways, and will monitor and study, and data will be collected on all pitchers in all of those leagues, WCL, Pioneer, Appalachian, and the Draft League. There goes DiCello. The 1-1 pitch is lifted to left and deep but playable. Takeuchi goes back to get it a couple of steps shy of the warning track. Andy Allenson heads back to first. 2 away on a well-struck ball, but an out. And Will Anderson to the plate for the Cowlitz Black Bears, with the Knights leading 4-0. The Athletic has been engaged in a series, and it's been a good one. The paucity of offense, the disappearance of big-time offense, and the fact that pitchers are just pitching at such an overpowering, dominant level now, with velocity, with spin rate, with variety of pitches, purpose pitches on every pitch, no giveaway pitches, chasing spin and velo, maybe to their own fault. DiCello goes, the pitch is outside, the throw to second, not in time. DiCello taking the strike one pitch, or pardon me, Anderson taking on behalf of DiCello, who is just a gifted base runner. DiCello now 12 for 13 in stolen bases on the season. He's in scoring position for the Black Bears with 2 outs here in the second, a count of 1-1 to the left-hand hitting Will Anderson. DeKramer looks back at DiCello, comes to the plate, breaking ball grounded, foul back at first. In close, just foul, out of the reach of Quinn Dufort. Will Anderson will return to the plate with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Knights leading 4-0 here in the top of the second inning. In the series finale, the Knights will continue the homestand and be home tomorrow to the Cascade Collegiate League Showcase team. 2 games against CCL, and then the Mid-Valley Southpaws coming up on Sunday. Runner goes, pitch is swung on and missed. And the pitch was swung on and missed for strike 3 on Anderson to retire the side. But DiCello was trying to get third for what it's worth. No runs, a hit, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the second. The Knights 4 and Cowlitz nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Four to nothing Knights as we go to the bottom of the second inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Peyton Miller, Ty Yukamoto, and Blake Wilson coming up against Mac Robertson for Cowlitz. Between innings, some photographs and a little information provided. Derek Bukai doing the public address announcing this evening here. But information on Brooke Knight on a night where we celebrate Brooke. Growing up in Corvallis, going to Crescent Valley High School, going on to Linfield, where he was an outstanding kicker. came to Oregon State and played both baseball and football here for the Beavers. Ended up graduating from Western Oregon. Played a year in the Brewers organization after getting drafted by Milwaukee. Then headed down to begin his long association down under with Australia. I was a player coach with Perth. And there's more information to come that will be shared with the fans here tonight as we go. 4-0 Knights, the first pitch to Peyton. Breaking ball down and away, ball 1. Robertson back to the plate, fastball up and in, ball 2. 2-0 to Peyton. Tai Yukamoto on deck. It is just a delight to see two legendary gentlemen of the game of baseball in the ballpark tonight. I've mentioned them a couple of times, and Dick McLean and Jack Riley. The 2-0 pitch. Ball 3, 3-0, and both men instrumental in Brooks' development as a player, as a coach, as a leader, and one of the great coaches that we've had in our state for the game of baseball for a long time now. The 3-0 pitch in there for a strike, as well as in what has become almost a second home for Brooks through his life, down under in Australia. The 3-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 3-1 to Peyton Miller. Mac Robertson out of the sunshine into the shadows, delivers a ground ball behind second, backhanded by DiCello, fires to first to get Miller. Good play by Sergio. One away in the bottom of the second, and Tai Yukamoto, whose father Garrett is still here. Darcy had to go home back to Hilo a couple of days ago. Garrett is still here, said he'll return to the islands in a couple of days, but he's sitting behind home plate tonight. Or actually just above the Jack Riley concourse in the lower grandstand below the McGrath family press box. Tai Yukamoto steps in with Papa still in the house. 1 out, nobody on. Robertson's change, swung on and missed. 0-1 the count. Dick McLean and Jack Riley, both native Oregonians. Jack, born in Salem, ended up going to Grant High School. Dick McLean went to Tillamook. The pitch to Yukamoto, a line drive to center field, base hit. Jordan Navarez plays it on a hop. Nice swing by Ty, taking it back up the middle for the Knights' 4th hit of the ball game. And Blake Wilson, who opened last inning with an infield single and scored the first of 4 runs, will come to the plate. Dick McLean, a 1958 graduate from Tillamook High School. Jack Riley, 1956, out of Grant in Portland. Wilson fouls one back in the count 0-1. And I didn't necessarily ask, but I said, where'd you go to high school? Grant. I kind of known that off and on. I've talked about Jack a lot through the years. But he offered, because it's a point of pride, and well, it should be. He said, I lost 2 games in high school as a pitcher. A throw to first, driving Tai Yukamoto back. And then he added the postscript, and both were to Mickey Lolich out of Lincoln High School, who went on to legendary status in the major leagues. Yukamoto goes, a good jump. J.J. Kennett on the transfer dropped the ball, popping in and out of his hand, not able to make a throw. Yukamoto in with a stolen base, and an opportunity now for Blake Wilson to drive in a run with that stolen base. Another $30 donated by the Knights and Pape Material Handling to Community Outreach, Inc., a local nonprofit creating transformative pathways to life. Wilson swings at a breaking ball and grounds it slowly back of third. Foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. 4-0 Knights in the second. Blake Wilson looking for his second hit as the Knights scoring 4 last inning and just trying to keep the momentum rolling after 3 games in the series so far that haven't been Knight-like. 1-2 the count to Blake. The Knights still coming in at 18-5 and in good shape, but certainly not used to getting swept at home in a doubleheader, and it happened at the hands of Cowlitz yesterday. So, intent to change that up, lead 4-0, and looking for more here in the second. Mac Robertson comes set. And the right-hander kicks and comes to the plate and bounces it off the turf. Good smothering job by J.J. Kennett. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Jack lost 2 games head-to-head against the great Mickey Lolich out of Lincoln High School. And he told me a story about Mickey apologizing to Jack during their battles together in the mid and late 50s. The 2-2 pitch, a line drive into right field for a base hit. Ty Yukamoto being waved around. Shea Bowen's throw will be cut off. Yukamoto scores standing up. An RBI single for Blake Wilson, and the Knights lead it 5-0. Kaysen Concerina aboard on an error and scored in the first inning. Last inning will come to the plate. There was a ball game at Lincoln, and it strikes me as things don't change a whole lot. Nothing new under the sun. I know there was really an ugly kind of scene at Charles Schwab Field in Omaha in the championship series with some fans for Texas A&M. Breaking ball strike to Concerina with the runner Blake Wilson going. Blake gets in safely to second with another stolen base. 0-1 to Kaysen, where some Aggie fans were yelling into the Florida Gators dugout. Some really nasty things to head coach Kevin O'Sullivan. And Jim Schlossnagel, who's been doing some apologizing for other things of late, but Jim apologized on behalf of Texas A&M fans and said those guys who yelled into the Florida dugout should never be allowed back to an Aggie sporting event. The strike one pitch is high and away, and the count 1-1, 5-0 Knights in the second. Jack said that when he went to Lincoln to pitch against Mickey Lolich as a member of the Grant Generals High School baseball team, that the Lincoln fans were just being nasty, yelling terrible things to Jack Riley. The 1-1 pitch is in the turf for ball 2, 2-1. He said that Mickey Lolich got him to kind of shut up, and then during the game came over and said, Jack, that's terrible. You don't deserve that, and I apologize on behalf of our fans. 1956, Jack Riley and Mickey Lolich together at a baseball game in Portland. 2 balls and a strike to Kaysen Concerina. Off speed, swung on and missed. The count is even. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kaysen, with the Knights opening up a 5-0 lead here in the second. Another runner now in Blake Wilson in scoring position. Concerina trying to get him home as, again, the evening brightens with sunshine here under the lights. Wilson gets his lead from second, and the 2-2 pitch is drilled into left center field for another base hit. Wilson will score without a play, and digging for second and getting in with a slide, Kaysen Concerina with a double, and the Knights lead it 6-0. Well, whatever frustrations the Knights have felt through the first 3 games of the series, winning the opener 2 nights ago 4-3, but leaving 15 on in the process, getting just 2 hits and getting swept in a doubleheader yesterday. It seems to all be coming out here tonight at the expense of Mac Robertson. Mac was not helped by his teammates defensively last inning, but the Knights have hit him pretty hard too. 6 runs, 6 hits. They lead it 6-0. And the pitching coach again out to the mound. That's Justin Parrish. Kelly Stinnett is the head coach. There is a right-hander in the bullpen. And whether Coach Parrish decides to make the move now, we'll see. It's in certain ball games, when the horse is indeed out of the barn, sometimes a guy's got to stay out there. It's so early. You're down 6 runs already. It looks like Justin's going to kind of follow that line of thinking, and Mac's got to carry on. I think it was Churchill and the King talking. Winston saying to His Majesty, who said to him, just got to keep buggering on, was the phrase Winston used during May of 1940 in some dire times. And Churchill even thinking about, at one point, resigning and due to a lot of disapproval over some of the things he was doing. And no, the King said, what's your expression, Winston, keep buggering on? Well, yeah. That's apparently what Mac Robertson's going to try to do here. Breaking ball low, ball 1-0. He's down 6-0 with only one out in the inning. Kason Consarini, an RBI double at second. Kevin Takeuchi aboard on an error and scored a run last inning. There is someone throwing. I can't quite get a read on the number in the Cowlitz bullpen beyond the left field fence. The 1-0 pitch is a wild pitch to the backstop. And into third base goes Consarini. So this is sort of the antithesis of the view of Marlon Brando's character in On the Waterfront. It ain't your night. It ain't my night. I could have taken whatever. He gave me a one-way ticket to Palookaville. And it was, Brando was feeling good that night, right? He could have won that fight easily. But he was supposed to take a dive, and it wasn't his night. His brother sold him out. Rod Steiger. Great film. Oh, my gosh, so good. Lee J. Cobb, Steiger, Fred Gwynn, Marlon Brando. Pitch is high, ball 3, Carl Malden, all good. Elia Kazan, magnum opus. 3 balls and no strikes to Kevin Takeuchi. The infield in, and Takeuchi drills it to deep left field. Kelly goes back, will play it off the base of the fence on a hop. Consarini scores, and into second base with a double goes Kevin Takeuchi. And the Knights lead it 7-0. Back-to-back 2 baggers as the Knights keep pouring it on. I guess the point is it hasn't been Mac Robertson's night. The phrase didn't apply to Brando in 54 on the waterfront. But it hasn't been a good night from Mac, and it will be the end of his night, and that's too bad because I'd like to see from Mac, even though I'm happy for the Knights and their fans and they lead at 7-0, had there been a little bit more in last inning of just picking the ball up and playing catch and throwing to first, and I think the scene would look a whole lot different. But the Knights have flexed their muscles here in the second. Base hit, double. 3 more runs in, and the Knights have opened up a 7-run lead here in the second inning. Kelly Stinnett goes to his bullpen, and we will take a 2-minute pitching change break as he does so. A left-hander coming in from out of the pen. We'll try to identify when we return. 7-0 Knights, bottom of the second. Back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Aaron Plattner, a left-hander, is the new pitcher Actually pronounced Plotner, I'm told, by Jack Connolly. The voice certainly doesn't look like it should be, but it is Plotner, spelled P-L-A-T-N-E-R. Plotner, 6 foot, 180-pound southpaw out of Jack Riley's old stomping. I don't think he did much stumbling. Stomping grounds, Lower Columbia Community College, and from Bend. First pitch is in there for a strike to Luke Lavin. The 0-1 pitch, Lavin hits it sharply, but right at the first baseman, Will Anderson. Will take it to the bag. Well struck baseball, but an out. 2 down on the play. Kevin Takeuchi goes into third. And with 2 outs and the Knights leading 7-0, Brandon Cabrera will come to the plate. Brandon is so glad to see him, and I'm not exactly sure why, but he appears to be pinch hitting here for Thomas Ferraggiaro. I hope Thomas is okay. Thomas, an RBI single last inning. Brandon Cabrera 2 nights ago had a pitch come up and in. The ball went off his bat. The umpires didn't say so. They should have. They missed it. It was a foul ball that went off his bat and up around his right cheekbone and eye. I saw the Band-Aid. He didn't have stitches. He was taken to the emergency room for evaluation. He says he's feeling fine. He swings at the first pitch to try to prove it and drives it to the gap into left center field, but Rowan Kelly on the run tracks it down. Nice swing, an even better catch by Kelly, and the inning is over. So Aaron Plotner comes in and gets 2 quick outs, but the Knights score 3 more. They leave 1. We're through 2. And at the end of 2, the Knights 7 and the Cowlitz Black Bears nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Looking for the latest news that you can trust? Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community.
7-0 Knights as we go to the top of the 3rd inning. Knights right-hander James DeCramer to the plate. Fastball fouled at the plate. No balls and 1 strike to Jaron Navarez, the center fielder. Jaron will be followed by J.J. Kennett, then back to the top of the order, and Keaton Grady. The Knights 4 runs in the first, 3 in the second. DeCramer strike 1 change, swung on and missed. James is ahead of the count 0-2 with J.J. Kennett next. Aaron Plotner coming in to get the last 2 outs, but certainly a lot of damage done through 2 by the Knights. 7-0 here in the 3rd. The strike 2 pitch slice foul towards the TNT Builders party deck. The fans scatter and wisely let the ball bounce on the concrete on the patio deck atop the Jacoby Ellsbury clubhouse in the left field corner. No balls and 2 strikes to Jaron Navarez. DeCramer delivers, breaking ball, swung on and missed for strike 3. Excellent pitch by James, 1 away. 4 strikeouts for James in what is probably his final inning of work. J.J. Kennett, the batter. Mentioning the name of Jacoby, a West Coast League alumnus with Bend in the summer of 2002. Fastball away, ball one. He had been drafted in the 19th round out of Madras High School. It wasn't decided whether to honor his commitment to attend Oregon State University or sign professionally. The 1-0 pitch up and in for ball two, 2-0 to J.J. Kennett. Jacoby, who I saw play high school basketball across the way for the Madras White Buffaloes. The 2-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-1 to Kennett. Jacoby was somewhat undecided. A couple of things changed his mind, one of which was a conversation with Pat Casey. Pat said, Jacoby, you could sign now and you could be a 19th round pick. If you come to Oregon State, you'll be a first round pick. Breaking ball hit foul into Urchin Alley, and the count 2-2 Now, sometimes, with some coaches and some recruiting methods, techniques, they'll fill your head with stuff. They'll tell you stuff just to get you to do what they want you to do. But Pat's never been that kind of person, never treated people in any wise like that. Fastball sliced down the right field line. Consarenia racing into foul territory, slides, and makes the catch. What a play by Consarenia. 2 down. Oh, my goodness. One of the catches of the summer, maybe the best I've seen so far here in the summer of 2024. Consarenia on a sinking foul ball down the line, getting a good jump, using his tools, speed, and racing to grab it 2 away. Keaton Grady, the batter. So Pat wasn't blowing smoke. He said, yeah, you could sign now, start a pro career, and you'll be good. But he said, Jacoby, if you come to Oregon State, you'll be a first-round pick. Now, that in his mind, then he went to play a little summer baseball with the Bend Elks and so loved playing in his first sort of taste of the wood bat collegiate summer league experience that those two things combined, the strike one pitch to Grady, flailed at and missed in the count 0-2, convinced him that his best path was to come and be a Beaver. And in 2005, he was drafted by the Boston Red Sox in the first round. The strike two pitch, fastball from DeCramer, up and away, 1-2 the count. 2 years later, helped the Red Sox win the World Series, helped them win another in 13. And then, much to my regret, maybe even to his, huge, gigantic free agent contract with the Yankees. I understand it. 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed, strike three, and James DeCramer, a brilliant outing again tonight. He's on his way to Oregon State and maybe being a first-round pick someday out of Corvallis, a la Jacoby. I just feel like had he taken a little less money to stay with Boston, he wins a couple of more World Series, he might have a statue in Boston Common next to Phillips Brooks and might have just been a happier overall. I don't know. He made a ton of dough in signing that free agent deal, but things were never quite the same. Right? Love the kid, though, and he was one of the big reasons Oregon State baseball began to rise into national prominence. James DeCramer retires the side in order again. We go to the bottom of the third, the Knights 7, and Cowlitz nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. bottom of the third inning, 7-0 Knights. The left-hander out of Mountain View High School in Bend, Aaron Plotner, delivers a breaking ball low and inside to left-handed hitting Quinn Dufort. 1-0. Quinn, a sacrifice fly, and the Knights 4-run first. The Knights getting 3 more in the second. This 1-0 pitch. This is high to Quinn, ball 2. 2-0. Dufort with his 14th run batted in. Kevin Takeuchi, leading the league in RBIs, picked up his 21st in the second inning. 2 balls and no strikes, the count. The pitch hits Quinn Dufort. He'll trot down to first, and Tyler Howard will be the batter. What's up? Dufort heads down to first, and Tyler Howard, who grounded into a double play in the first inning, will come to the plate. Knights baseball is brought to you by Best Western Corvallis, the official hotel partner of your Corvallis Knights, with the largest hotel rooms in the city and an outdoor heated pool. Wherever life takes you, Best Western is there. The southpaw Aaron Plotner to the plate and misses. Away, ball 1, 1-0 to Tyler. Plotner out of Mountain View High in Bend, and competed in the Little League World Series in Williamsport in 2016 for a team out of Central Oregon. Pitch is high, a throw to first. Quinn Dufort races back to the bag. 2 balls and no strikes to Tyler Howard. 7-0 Knights in the bottom of the third inning. And Plotner following his baseball dreams at Lower Columbia Community College. Story Field. Snap throw to first, and Dufort back on his hands and knees. The home field of the Cowlitz Black Bears, so certainly familiar territory for Aaron to be playing his summer ball. The lefty set, the 2-0 pitch to Tyler, and Howard takes a strike. The count 2-1. The Knights and the Cascade Collegiate Showcase team tomorrow night as the homestand continues. 6:35 tomorrow on T-shirt giveaway night. The 2-1 pitch to Howard misses for ball 3, 3-1. The latest Corvallis Knights T-shirt to be given away tomorrow. Get here early. And then baseball giveaway night on Saturday night, presented by Horesco Chiropractic. There goes Dufort. The 3-1 pitch is outside for ball 4. Plotner came on and did a nice job getting 2 quick outs last inning to end a 3-run frame, but here in the third, a hit batter and a walk, and now Peyton Miller, the batter. Peyton grounded to second base in his first at-bat. 7-0 Knights, and in this case, one would think the bunt is off. In a tighter ball game, 2 1-run game, no score, down a run, up a couple of runs, you'd probably see Peyton bunting. I doubt it. He's not. He takes high and away here. 1 ball and no strikes to count. 7 runs and 7 hits for the Knights, who have broken through in a big way here tonight, trying to garner a split in this 4-game series with Cowlitz. First and second, nobody out. Plotner delivers outside again. Ball 2, 2-0. Aaron has a right-hander loosening up in the bullpen beyond the left field fence. Quinn Dufort at second, Tyler Howard at first, nobody out, and 2-0 to Peyton Miller. Aaron to the plate and delivers a belt-high strike. 2-1 to Peyton Miller. Tai Yukamoto on deck. Plotner ready, and the left-hander out of Mountain View High delivers away. Ball 3, 3-1. His control has betrayed him, certainly for Aaron in this third inning. With a hit batter and a walk, and now behind 3-1 to Peyton. We'll see if Brook Knight might be of a mind to turn his runners loose. Dufort from second, Howard from first, 3-1 the count. Plotner ready, and a pickoff play is on, with Cowlitz certainly tuned into that possibility of the runners going. The throw coming in to Sergio DiCello with Quinn Dufort getting back to the bag. We'll talk a little bit about James DeCramer in a moment in between innings, as James his evening is probably over with. 45 pitches scheduled or 3 innings, whichever came first. Well, 3 innings are in, and he's been good. Here's a one-hopper to the second baseman, Sergio DiCello, off the bat of Peyton Miller. DiCello throws out Peyton. It is not a sacrifice bunt, but it has the same effect. One away with Dufort going to third, Tyler Howard into second, and Tai Yukamoto, the hitter. Ty banged a single into center field last inning and scored the first of 3 more runs for the Knights, who plated 4 in the first. The infield in for Cowlitz in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Plotner found the strike zone in time to stay in the game. He slings a breaking ball away, ball 1, 1-0 to Yukamoto. Quinn Dufort at third, Tyler Howard at second. The Black Bears infield just a step or 2 off the edge of the green. The 1-0 pitch, Ty with kind of a one-handed cut, fouls it at the plate. The count, 1 ball and 1 strike. And I think that took a little bite out of the catcher, J.J. Kennett. And Billy De La Garza giving J.J. a little time to kind of shake it off and talking it over with J.J. with, I'm sure, a high degree of empathy. Tai Yukamoto steps back in. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out to the 9-hole hitter, Blake Wilson on deck. Aaron Plotner to the plate. Good fastball in there for a strike. And the count 1-2. The Cascade Collegiate League, 4 teams based in Centralia. They'll have their essentially kind of all-star team, a showcase team of the best of those 4 teams playing the Knights the next 2 nights. Yukamoto pulls 1 foul past Coach Nags. The count remains 1-2. Then the Mid-Valley Southpaws. They'll be in for a Sunday affair at 5:05. The Knights will have Monday off and then be back home on July 2nd for rodeo night. Fireworks night the following night. Yukamoto, a high foul down the left field line towards Casey Corner. The ball will land untouched. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yukamoto. So we hope you're getting your tickets for all of the above, particularly the fireworks extravaganza on July 3rd against Ridgefield right here. Dufort at third, Howard at second, 1 out, 7-0 Knights. Yukamoto takes, strike 3 called. Brooke Knight, several steps out of the box, walking down to remonstrate with the home plate umpire, Billy DeGarza, who he has been frustrated with throughout the series. A missed interference call yesterday. Billy had it, then retracted it early when Yukamoto was interfered with in attempting to field a ground ball back up the middle. The umpires just clearly missed the call, even though Billy was pointing immediately at the offending runner, and then, in a sense, called it back, and that raised Brooks' hackles to a very high level. And he wasn't real happy with that ring-up of Yukamoto. 2 down, Blake Wilson, the batter. 7-0 Knights in the bottom of the 3rd. Blake swings at the first pitch and fouls it towards the TNT Builders party deck. 0-1 the count. Breeze is blowing out towards left center field. The strike 1 pitch to Blake Wilson misses high. 1-1 the count. I really enjoy watching Blake play the game. He's a versatile position player, a good hitter, runs well. Now looking for a 2-run single here to try to put the Knights up 9-0 here in the 3rd. Plotner to the plate. Change, swung on and missed. And the count 1-2. Good pitch from Aaron. A hit batter and a walk for Plotner to open the inning, but he's trying to pitch through and around it with Dufort at third, Howard at second, Blake Wilson waiting. The 1-2 pitch down and away. Ball 2, 2-2. A.J. Lattery coming into the ballpark. Saw Aaron floating the river the other day. Good for him. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. 7-0 Knights in the bottom of the third. Plotner set. The 2-2 pitch fouled into the netting. And it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Blake with Kaysen Consarinia on deck. Hardly floating weather today in these last couple of days, nor shall it be in the next few days. We look forward to the return of summer. That's usually good for after the 4th of July. Another 2-2 change is swung on and missed, strike 3. The inning is over, and good work by Aaron Plotner. A hit batter, a walk, and a 3-1 count before kind of righting himself and getting the last 3 outs, and the Knights leave 2 in scoring position. We're through 3. James DeCramer appears to be returning to the mound as we go to the 4th. The Knights 7 and Cowlitz nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
We want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
News that you can trust. Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community.
Insurance, she's our insurance agent, so you get a hot dog.
Through 3 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights 7 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. Cowlitz, no runs, 1 hit, and 2 errors. James DeCramer to the plate, and the first pitch, a change fouled back. No balls and a strike to Rowan Kelly. With the Knights leading 7-0, and DeCramer on into the 4th, and he has been strong again, building off his first good outing against Springfield. Fastball in there for a strike, and he's ahead of the count 0-2. He struck out Rowan looking in the first inning. Just 1 base runner so far, a base hit to left for Andy Allenson in the second. 7-0 Knights in the 4th. The Kramer kicks and comes 0-2. A changeup hit on a couple of hops to Yukamoto. Ty fires to first, and not in time. Rowan Kelly beats it out on the infield single. A close play. Isaac McAllister rules safe, and the batter will be Shea Bowen, who struck out looking in the first. DeCramer comes set, and the pitch to Bowen misses down and in, ball 1. 1-0. James DeCramer has had another solid outing, a guy who hadn't pitched in a live game for 17 months, but fully recovered from a back injury in his senior year in high school. It took some time, 17 months worth of time, before getting back into a live game last week, but he told me after the game that he feels as good as ever and excited to continue to ramp up and get ready to help the Beavers in 2025. The pitch missing in the count, 2-0. James delivers off speed and high. His control has been pinpoint in this outing so far, and for the first time in the game goes to the rosin bag back of the plate after falling behind 3 balls and no strikes. I do not show him having any 3-ball count yet tonight. Here he is, 3-0 after giving up the infield single. Pumps a fastball in for a strike, and the count 3-1. James DeCramer into the fourth inning with a 7-run lead. Some bullpen activity will begin shortly. The change is in there for a strike, and the count 3-2. James trying to come all the way back now from a 3-0 count, working at full 3-2. Dangles his arm as he takes the sign from Tyler Howard. The runner goes. A 3-2 changeup, a ground ball to Quinn Dufort. And Quinn will take it to the bag himself, one away. Good pitch. And Shea Bowen grounds out. On the play, Kelly, who was on the move, heads to first. And Andy Allenson will be the batter. Andy slapped a single to left field in the second inning. Oregon State pitching coach Rich Dorman has dropped by. He's been watching his young man, whom he recruited to Oregon State, James DeCramer, at work. And we're certainly pleased to have Gary Henderson sit in the same seat yesterday as a couple of Utes pitchers were at work. Gary was in town watching his charges. The pitch to Allenson misses away, ball 1-0. James DeCramer, in what will be his final inning of work, steps off the rubber. Coach, good to see you. And
this is great.
And what do you think of your kid? I love this kid. What do you think of how James is looking?
I'm just so proud of him and the work he's done to get back to where he's at, and just seeing that energy out there on the mound.
The 1-0 pitch, off speed, line to right field. Yeah, left it up a little bit. A base hit to right field, and a good throw back in from Kaysen Consarini. The ball got to Kaysen in a hurry. Kelly stops at third. Allenson is 2 for 2. Runners at first and third and 1 out. And Sergio DiCello will be the batter. So, Coach, he's done a lot of good things tonight. Here in the fourth, an infield single. Comes back from a 3-0 count to get it out. But you're saying that last pitch, the location was the issue?
Yeah, he left the slider up to a good left-handed hitter. This is honestly, Mike, what I want to see. Like, I want to see him in these situations. You know, this is the moment where you actually start having to, like, dig deep and make pitches, and this is fun for me watching him go through this stuff right here.
DeCramer kicks and comes to the plate. Fastball away, ball 1. When you talk about all that he's had to go through, that's a lot, hasn't it? I mean, it's been a long time between pitching, right?
Yeah, when I'm picturing him in the Super Regional right now, we're first and third with 1 out. He's in his, the end of his rope and seeing if he can dig deep and make pitches for us right now.
1 ball and no strikes to Sergio DiCello. Tough guy to double up, but James would like to give it a shot. The breaking ball misses high and away. Ball 2. Do you think there's a little fatigue here in the fourth? I mean, as he's ramped up the pitch count tonight?
A little bit. I mean, I'm watching his body language. He's taking a lot of walks to the rosin right now, and I want him just to reset and focus. And it's okay. Like, contact can, make guys overthink a little bit. Contact's okay. I got to get him to understand that.
The 2-0 pitch, contact, a fly ball to shallow left field. Kevin Takeuchi will make the catch, tagging his Rowan Kelly on his way to the plate and will score.
Good.
And that's a run on the board on the sacrifice fly, but a good pitch to DiCello to get the out. And when you're up 7-0, the Knights appeal that Kelly left too soon, and the home plate umpire, Billy De La Garza, says no. It's now 7-1 Knights with Kelly coming in to score. 2 down. You said good. Why did you say good?
Yeah, because he's still filling up the zone and attacking, and I'm all right with him giving up a run, but looks like this is it for him.
Yeah, Brooks coming out.
Yeah.
And tell me, okay, we'll keep things here and visit a little bit more with Oregon State pitching coach Rich Dorman. Tell us a little bit of the James DeCramer story, how you found him, how he became a Beaver.
Well, I mean, it was a trying time during COVID, and
he comes out to a well-deserved ovation from the Knights fans, and DeCramer gives a wave to the new pitcher coming in behind him. So what is the story?
He's a really special kid, man. He went through a lot, I mean, as did all those kids in that time, and he wanted to be a Beav, and he was so proud of, our first initial conversations and just talking to him. And he comes from Brophy Prep, which is a really academic school there in Phoenix. Good baseball program. Josh Garcia does a great job down there, their head coach. And we had conversations, and my time at GCU, I knew that was a great program down there. And so I kept in contact with him, and I was like, hey, how's everything looking down there? And he's like, I got a special kid, James DeCramer, coming up as a freshman. He's a great player. And then at that time, we could still talk to those players if the coach told him to call me. And so my first initial convo with James was great, and He actually told me, he's like, yeah, my team was up at like an Oregon camp, but me and my dad, we drove up to Corvallis because we wanted to see what real baseball was like in the Northwest, and so to get, and we had a really great connection from the start, and it hasn't always been smooth sailing with James, and like through his maturation as a high school athlete, just he had bumps and bruises, and we have had conversations where they're rough outings, and we're working through it together, like how to get back on the horse and go out there and compete and keep continuing to get better, and so and then obviously he kept getting better and better and better, as most of our recruits do, and then the MLB draft's coming, and just like we're going through right now with a couple of our incoming recruits, and but James, he ended up getting hurt. Unfortunately, he tried to ramp up and too quick, and when you got 30 radar guns behind every one of your high school starts, he's just ripping fastballs, and he unfortunately ended up like hurting his lower back, and because the kid's a worker, man. He wants it more than any kid I've ever seen.
Wow.
Like, he's a 4.0 student, which is, he's so, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but he loses focus really quick. But when it comes to this game and his teammates and school, and he's able just to lock in and give everyone everything he has inside of him. And I know he's going to call me tonight, and he's going to be really ticked off. He gave up a run, and I'm going to tell him good. And he's going to go, Dor, what are you saying? And I'm like, James, it's what you need right now.
Right. Mason Goodson comes in behind him. Thanks, Rich, for all of that. Stay with us a little longer if you can.
Oh, absolutely.
Sergio Gicello with the sacrifice fly. Now Mason Goodson, who does go to that other program down the road, delivers the strike to Bronson Neve. 0-1 the count. The Knights leading 7-1 after another superlative outing for redshirt freshman James DeCramer. The strike one pitch, hit foul to the right and out of play. The count 0-2. The stuff looks really good, too. Beyond everything else you're talking about, I mean, that stuff plays, right?
Yeah, the changeup is going to be the difference maker. I mean, the heater, he can run at 94, 95, and I know when Goss is packed, he's going to be 96, 97, and reaching back, and he's a warrior. He works his butt off. So, yeah, stuff's great. I love the changeup.
Goodson out of the stretch with the strike two pitch coming. Swung on and missed for strike three. Very good pitch from Mason Goodson, diving down and away from the right-hand hitting Neve. Can you hang with me a little bit longer?
Absolutely.
Okay, one run in the inning. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Strong outing for James DeCramer. Mason Goodson follows with the final out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the fourth. The Knights 7 and Cowlitz 1 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. The Knights leading Cowlitz 7-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. The Cowlitz Black Bears will dip into their bullpen. Pretty good job by the kid out of Mountain View. Lost his command a little bit early last inning. Aaron Plotner going from Mountain View and Bend to Lower Columbia. Now gives the baseball up to Isaac Vasquez out of Goodyear, Arizona, and going to school at Providence. Now, Isaac Vasquez reminds me to tell you about Paul Vasquez, the incoming freshman to Oregon State. Paul has broken his wrist or has a wrist injury of some sort. I don't know how serious it is, but he'll be shut down for the rest of the summer. But it was a pleasure to see Paul at work for part of this season with the Knights, and he'll be ready to go, I'm sure, come the fall. Isaac Vasquez to the plate. And is everything okay over there?
We're good.
Your phone.
I didn't know the table had a little ramp to it there.
It does, unfortunately. Breaking ball strike to Kaysen Consarinia from Vasquez. Isaac back to the plate with a strike one pitch to the backstop. Consarinia's scored twice. An RBI double in the second, a board on an error, and scored in the first. 7-1 Knights, bottom of the fourth inning, trying to get a split of this four-game series. Vasquez back to the plate. High and away, ball two. Honored to be joined by Oregon State pitching coach Rich Dorman, talking about James DeCramer. We'll see Leif Palmer get another start here Saturday night against the Cascade Collegiate Showcase team. The pitch to Consarinia, high for ball three, 3-1. How excited are you about what Leif's up to and kind of ramping things up for a while this summer after showing some promise this past spring? The 3-1 pitch to Consarinia outside for ball four. I sense, Coach Dorman, that this is an important summer for Leif.
Absolutely. I mean, as it is, all of our guys we have out throwing, and Leif is a kid who lost a lot of his preseason, if you may. He ended up coming back and hurting his thumb and had surgery, so he missed a lot of that and was just kind of thrown in the action, which is a lot for, a high school freshman. But go ahead here.
Kevin Takeuchi has been aboard on an error and had an RBI double, a throw to first, and Consarinia back.
Yeah, and so just giving Leif a chance to get out and compete this summer. When we talked, as we're getting down the stretch and we're super regional or regional and super regional, I was just like, Leif, man, I really want you to stay home here in Corvallis and get off the bump and pick over to first safe. And then I want you to get some starts in your belt, man, because next year, that might be your role. We might need you coming out, big arm from Colorado, and just get him some more innings. There
goes the runner, Kaysen Consarinia. The throw to second is in time. I think it was a hit and run because Kaysen was looking back in as he headed to second, but Takeuchi took the pitch, so I don't know if that's a missed sign or not. I know Brooke Knight is pulling his notepad out to make a note. Somebody may have missed something, Rich, is what I'm thinking.
Looks like.
Yeah. You see that notebook coming out.
I feel like Brooke didn't really put anything on because they're up 6 right now, but who knows?
Well, Consarinia is thrown out, one away, 1-0, meanwhile, to Kevin Takeuchi, and the 1-0 pitch misses for ball two, 2-0. So tonight what you saw from James was kind of the plan to keep ramping it up. Where do you 45, he went 4 innings essentially. Pitch is fouled over our heads and out of play. As he builds up in the summer, what will kind of the maximum for DeCramer be, and what's the plan for Leif? Well,
I mean, Leif might make, just because he had kind of a little bit longer spring than James, and so I'm thinking, talking with Brooke and Dan Siegel, I'm thinking 4 starts for him.
Okay.
So hopefully, because I want him to have a little break and then have that fall, being ready to go in the fall to earn a spot in that rotation. And obviously what James does, that's a heater up.
3-1 to count to Takeuchi.
I want James to compete. What he's doing right now is way more important than what he potentially may do in the fall. And so I'm just super excited to see him out there. That's right on us. Short.
Yeah, it's a little short.
Holy
I was getting
cow.
ready to make a play. I think
Where's
my read was okay. The ball almost plopped into Paul Blackburn's beer here, right below. He should have used the beer cup to catch it, but somebody else is gonna get a souvenir because Paul wasn't quick enough on it.
He's got his peanut bag. That might have worked too.
That might have worked, or a paper bag. Yeah. 3-2 pitch on the way is
well
stroked to deep left center field. Kelly and Navarra's going back. This one will short hop the fence in the alley in left center. And Takeuchi with his second consecutive double cruises into second. Nice swing for Kevin.
Man.
He's swinging it well.
A lot of games every time I've been here, this kid's swinging it really good. So Stanky's got a good one down there.
Yeah, he does. Kevin starting the night. He led USC in slugging during the spring, and he's hitting .337 for the Knights coming in, and now has 7 doubles and the team leader in RBIs, the league leader in RBIs with 21. And now here comes Stanford's Luke Lavin. Lavin, a 2-run single in the first, grounded out in the second. 7-1 Knights in the bottom of the fourth inning. Right-hander Isaac Vasquez comes to the plate and delivers a strike. 0-1 the count. You mentioned talking to Brooke and Dan. Gary Henderson was very complimentary of the Knights and the relationship that he's built over the years with Dan and Brooke and the coaches here. Gary says he trusts and knows that guys get better when they come. A ground ball back at first, a sprawling play by Will Anderson, the first baseman, takes it to the bag himself for the second out of the inning. And the batter will be Brandon Cabrera, with the Knights leading 7-1. Brandon Cabrera, Lewis Clark State. Rich, what are your thoughts about that and the importance of the relationship between Oregon State and the Knights?
Absolutely. They do a great job. I mean, anytime like I have my young guns that we recruit, I want them here, because when I'm not, for example, I was in Alaska last night and flew up to Anchorage and went and saw a kid actually committed to us. We got a new beeve tonight, which is good.
That's good news.
And so as soon as I get home, I'm able to come here and come watch JD throw. And so I love that, and I know Brooke, and we communicate really well. We see the game eye to eye. Like the way he motivates, the way he coaches, the way he wants to win. I feel like he can echo the same thing, and then I can echo back to our guys whatever he's trying to. Yeah. And then obviously Dan and I, we played together for the Knights, the Aloha Knights, way back in the day.
The 1-1 pitch hit off the handle of the bat, a slow roller. DiCello has the ball go under his glove and into center field.
There's a run.
And coming down the line to score is Kevin Takeuchi. The Knights lead it 8-1, and that'll be an unearned run. Brandon Cabrera hitting the ball, and he runs well, but it will go as an E4. And the Knights get their third unearned run of the ball game, and that'll bring to the plate Quinn Dufort. But the Knights do get that run back and lead it by 7. Quinn with a sacrifice fly and has been hit by a pitch.
I feel like it's super important, not to cut you off, but I feel like it's super important that we put our best guys here. One, multiple reasons. One, they get a pitch on their own mound. 2, they get the comfort of training with our strength coach, and then obviously if there's any training needs, our trainer Jeremy Ainsworth is here for him as well, and then plus we bonus is I get to come watch him pitch and continue to develop, see that development happen. So, and then they do a great job. They always win. They're competitive, just like our program.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. That's good stuff. And Gary was saying similar things last night. The 1-0 pitch, a ground ball to second, fielded by Sergio DiCello, throws to first. The inning is over. If you can hang on for one more half inning, I know your son Blake is here, and you guys can get back to what you're doing. But I've got some questions to ask you about a couple of other guys, but also when you mention contact's okay. You want to get that communicated to James. I want to hear you out a little bit on contact being okay in the age where everybody's chasing strikeouts and spin and velo, and arm injuries are up, but hitting's down in the big leagues. There's a lot of stuff you and I've talked about. Let's talk a little bit more about that when we come back. At the end of 4, the Knights 8 and Cowlitz 1 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Hey Corvallis Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, your one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors.
To the fifth inning we go, 9-1, or 8-1, pardon me. The Corvallis Knights in front. Will Anderson against right-hander Mason Goodson, picking up for James DeCramer, who had another strong outing for the Knights. Mason delivers a first pitch strike to Will Anderson. 0-1 the count. Will followed by Jaron Navarez, and then J.J. Kennett for Cowlitz as the Knights try to forge a split of this four-game series after getting swept yesterday in the doubleheader. The strike one fastball swung on and missed by Will, who struck out against DeCramer in the second. No balls and two strikes. Mike Parker with Oregon State pitching coach Rich Dorman. Coach, there's just so many things going on in baseball in general. The major leagues, offense is struggling. The pitchers are throwing in the hundreds and upper 90s with regularity. Ground ball to short. Yukamoto throws across for the out, one away. So I've been seeing a series of articles about disappearing, vanishing offense, pitchers chasing strikeouts and valuing strikeouts more than ever. They want to strike everybody out, but that's leading maybe to a rash of arm injuries. What is your thought about that? It's a big topic, but what are your thoughts of what I just said?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to hitting approaches too. They all want to chase the elevate balls, and I feel like now with the information we have, and plus these guys, everyone's throwing upper 90s and low hundreds, and they're able to actually dive into the science of how to make balls do what they need to get to miss bats, and the industry is gone to elevation and launching balls and hitting homers, and so now. From our perspective, like pitchers have gone into the lab and they're like, okay, this is where they're looking to hit. This is where they make their contact. Okay, now we're going to start making our adjustments and using the science and the analytics to really help pitchers, get the swing and miss. And they're not making adjustments right now. And so it's like, I think it's like fashion. Pretty soon it's going to,
cycle back.
Yeah, they're going to go back to using the left side of the infield and hitting ground balls the other way. But that's the beauty of baseball, and I think whoever's willing to make the change first, and I feel like pitchers have started making their adjustments, and before it was always be down in the zone, in the zone.
2-1 pitch, a ground ball wide to first. Quinn Dufort fields and shovels to Goodson covering for the out. Two down here in the top of the fifth, the Knights leading 8-1.
Yeah, so down in the zone is, for hitters used to be ground balls, and now they're like, don't hit ground balls because those are outs in the big leagues. They got infielders that play catch, and they got tons of range and great arm strength. So let's start launching balls. Don't try to hit balls down in the ground. And so, for then the shifts and all that. And so I feel like it's just slowly starting to change. So now pitchers are starting to elevate. Now they're starting to cut it. Now they're starting to use seam shifted effect heaters, which – there's so much science behind how the ball spins and, usage of different grips and how their efficiency, the way they spin the ball. And
are pitchers getting more hurt, though, chasing all of that stuff?
I feel like the injuries kind of happen more so, and I'm a still firm believer in usage. Okay. I feel like guys just, when they're youngsters, I'm sitting here looking at my 11-year-old and, and he wants to start playing club baseball. And I'm like, dude, and he's trying to throw me curveballs and sliders and fastballs, and he can actually throw them. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's good movement. That's kind of a sweeper. But it's like at the same time, like, I don't know if I want him to start doing that yet, just based on, injuries and things like that.
Right. Interesting.
So breaks, to me, like pitchers need to, at younger ages, I think, play multiple sports and be athletes, and feel like cleaning up deliveries help limit injuries. And so I feel like the club scene in summer ball, like I wouldn't mind a kid taking a little break. Go play football. Go get those daily doubles in there. I remember doing down in North Medford with Rod Rummery, and we're grinding in 112 down in Medford.
That's helpful to you too, though, as an athlete and constitutionally. The 1-0 pitch is a ground ball back up the middle, charged by Peyton Miller. Miller tags out the runner, J.J. Kennett, going by to retire the side. Rich, it is great to see you. You're here with your son, Blake, and I really appreciate you popping up to our vantage point, and the next time you're in, let's do it again.
Yeah, go Beavs.
Pick up the conversation, but congratulations. I look forward to finding out good news about what you just shared about Alaska. Good to have you back
He's
home.
A good one. We got a good one coming.
Good to hear. Coach, great to see
thanks,
you, man.
Mike. Thank you.
Rich Dorman joining me, his son Blake, and he are going to enjoy the rest of the game. Really appreciate back-to-back nights with great baseball people. Gary here last night and our own Rich Dorman here tonight from Oregon State. Good stuff. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning. The Knights 8 and Cowlitz 1 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the fifth inning, the Knights leading Cowlitz by a score of 8-1. Mason Schmidt will be the new pitcher for the Cowlitz Black Bears. As we go to the bottom of the fifth, Tyler Howard, Peyton Miller, and Tai Yukamoto, the scheduled hitters for the Corvallis Knights against the right-hander. Just coming in, Mason Schmidt, 6'1", 195 from Scottsdale and attending, or from the University of San Diego, but from Scottsdale, Arizona. Tyler Howard will lead things off. Tyler has grounded into a double play and walked. 8-1 Knights, bottom of the fifth inning. Really appreciate Coach Dorman dropping by. I think that's a first in our summers together here. Rich dropping by to say hello, and certainly here watching intently James DeCramer at work, and we'll be back again Saturday when Leif Palmer gets another start. The first pitch to Tyler hit foul off to the right and out of play, and it sounded as though a fructiferous trip to the great state of Alaska. The strike one pitch, breaking ball up. I didn't ask him where. Did he say Anchorage? I don't know. He may have. I didn't. People who follow recruiting probably already know about the commitment, and that's not something he's free to talk about in terms of actually naming the player, but I'm sure that there are people out there who can figure all that out and can let me know, and it will stay off the record. The 1-1 pitch missing down and away, ball 2-1. Anchorage, he said. Thank you. Paul said, yeah, he said Anchorage. You know, when I ask people questions, I don't really listen to their answers. I don't stay for an answer like Justin Pilot. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Howard. No, I do, but there's just a lot going on. There goes Casey walking through. The 2-2 pitch on the way, not Pat, but the former Knights intern who has gone to work on a program, I can tell. He's slimmed down a good deal. I don't know what he's been doing, but he looks a little different this summer than he did here a year ago. He looked good last year, looks even better now. The 2-2 pitch to Howard, lifted to shallow center field. Navarez lingered for a moment, but now finds the baseball, moves in to make the catch. One away. And Peyton Miller, who twice is grounded to second, will come to the plate. Chase Gomez from the Oregon State women's golf team just completed her eligibility. Has been at virtually every night's home game for the last couple of summers, and she's here tonight. She just came up to say hello and said she'll be picking up Sean Weiss at PDX on Sunday night. Sean will be making his return for his 4th summer with the Knights. He'll be ready to go on Tuesday. Miller hits one high in the air, foul off first, and into the mitt of Will Anderson. The baseball settles for out number 2 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tai Yukamoto will come to the plate. If you live or work in one of 24 Western or Central Oregon counties, then you're entitled to membership privileges and the full financial services of Oregon State Credit Union. Join online at OregonStateCU.com or at one of their 15 branches. Oregon State Credit Union is the proud title sponsor of the Knights' big fireworks show coming up next Wednesday, the 3rd of July. Fireworks night at Goss. Oregon State Credit Union, investing in all of our communities and dedicated to creating financial solutions toward making local lives better. Be sure to get those tickets. They're going fast for the fireworks show next Wednesday night. Tai Yukamoto takes a strike from Mason Schmidt. Mason back to the plate and misses. The count even to Yukamoto, who has singled to center and scored and struck out looking. 1 ball and 1 strike. Schmidt comes back and misses for ball 2, 2-1. The Cascade Collegiate Showcase team in here tomorrow and Saturday. Yukamoto takes down and away, and the count goes to 3-1 to tie. Blake Wilson on deck. The 3-1 pitch, Yukamoto takes a strike. Rich is here with his son Blake, and I didn't want to dominate his time much longer. Really appreciated his perspective on a number of things, but I did want to ask him, and we will at a future date, even before the draft on July 14th, when Travis Pisano will likely go second, I think people are saying. A fly ball into shallow left. Out goes Keaton Grady, the shortstop, to make the catch. But it was Rich Dorman who essentially, through a relationship with Ryan Rowland Smith of the Seattle Mariners, former Mariner and current broadcaster, that put Rich and the Beavers on to Boz, and the rest is glorious history. We'll try to get Rich to share that story a little later. The Knights go in order for the first time. We are through 5. The Knights 8 and Cowlitz 1 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
We want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, your one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors.
Eight to 1 Knights as we go to the 6th. Mason Goodson's first pitch, slider, a strike, and the count 0-1 to Rowan Kelly. leading things off here in the top of the 6th inning. Goodson delivers and misses down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rowan, who was struck out looking and had an infield single. By the way, Sergio DiCello was not charged with an error earlier. Brandon Cabrera was credited with an RBI single for the Knights back in the 4th. The 1-1 pitch in there for a strike to Rowan, and the count 1-2. Rowan Kelly, Shea Bowen, and Andy Allenson, the scheduled hitters for Cowlitz in this series finale. The Knights have dominated it. 4 runs in the first, 3 in the second. 8-1 here in the 6th. Goodson back to the plate. Breaking ball lifted foul, Waldo away off the top of the railing above the Jack Riley concourse. Jack and Dick McLean here tonight to honor Brook Night on Brook Night Night. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gene is here too. I don't think anyone loves the game of baseball more than the First Lady of Baseball in our community, Jean Riley. She's here with Jack, watching one of their fine players and students of the game, Brook Knight. And you heard great things that Rich Dorman had to say as well. What a tremendous asset and boon Brook has been to the baseball community for so many years, growing up in the town, playing high school ball here, college ball here, coaching here at such a high level now for 16 seasons. The pitch is tapped slowly out in front of the mound, charged by Goodson. The throw to first is not in time. The ball goes by Dufort, but not far enough for the runner to advance. Rowan Kelly gets a base hit on a swinging bunt that Goodson pounced on pretty quickly and threw to first, but even if the throw hadn't glanced off the leather of Quinn Dufort, it would have been a base hit. So Rowan Kelly is aboard. Shea Bowen, the batter. Bowen has struck out and grounded to first. Cowlitz's lone run coming in the 4th inning. Mason Goodson picking up for the starter, James DeCramer. First pitch fastball, a strike, and the count 0-1. The run was earned in the 4th inning. Mason Goodson now into the 6th with an 8-1 lead. Comes back to the plate with a strike 1 fastball. Swung on and missed. The count 0-2 to Shea. Shea has struck out and grounded to first. Goodson settles in, and Mason kicks and comes 0-2. A line drive into left field, coming in a hurry and making a sliding catch. Kevin Takeuchi, 1 away. Good job by Kevin. Having a good ball game, just an outstanding baseball player. 1 away. Andy Allenson is 2 for 2, the batter. Single to left in the 2nd, and by Rich Dorman's confession, admission, acknowledgement, his guy, James DeCramer, left a slider up, and that can be dangerous, as he said, to a good hitter such as Allenson, the son of the former Major League catcher of the same name. Allenson, the younger, swings and hits one foul to the left and out of play. No balls and 1 strike. Top of the 6th inning, 8-1, the Knights in front. I was really glad to hear Rich talk about multiple sports. Tremendous concept. The strike 1 pitch is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. I do think a lot of the injuries, it strikes me as, there's a lot of reasons, yes. One thing, the body, according to most people who study these types of things, say wasn't meant to throw overhand. That just in itself is a great stressor on the human body. The 1-1 pitch on the way, a strike, and the count 1-2. But the almost maniacal approach, year-round stuff, training, pitching, not getting into other sports because of the need for specialization, and you don't want to get behind in the sport where you think you have your chance to get signed or get a scholarship or whatever else. I get it. A lot of pressure in that respect, and parents, driven young people want to get the best possible path and stay with the sport that they're best at. But sometimes that's the expense of too much strain and then not getting the well-rounded overall experience of the breadth of experience in other sports, which I know our coaches around here preach play multiple sports. The 1-2 pitch, a ground ball to second for one, on to first, and the throw gets by Quinn Dufort. It hits the first base coach, picked up by Goodson. No play at second base. I'm not sure why that ball got by Dufort, but it did. The throw was not great. An error, I believe, will be charged to Yukamoto, but the throw didn't appear to be that far off. But the onus is usually on the thrower, and in this case, Yukamoto. So on the error, whomever it's charged to, and I believe it'll be on Yukamoto, coming across the bag looking for the inning-ending double play. Instead, Andy Allenson able to go to second after bouncing into the fielder's choice 4-6. 2 outs in the inning. DiCello, who has bounced into a force play and had a sacrifice fly, takes a strike from Mason Goodson. 0-1 the count. Kind of a weird play. It looked as though an accurate throw would have ended the inning with a double play. The throw was a little down and away for Dufort, but I thought catchable. The strike one pitch nearly hit the left-hand hitting DiCello. Down and in, and the count 1-1 strike. Allenson at second, 2 down. 8-1 Knights in the top of the 6th inning. As it cools off, we were told it would. Started at 69 degrees, heading to a 62-degree temperature before ball game's end. And I can feel it. Winds picking up, cooling off here in the 6th. A chopper foul back of first, and the count 1-2 strikes. The throw from Yukamoto got by Dufort, then hit the first base coach, Shane McCarroll, and Mason Goodson, alertly, to his credit, picked the ball up and thought that he had a chance to get Allenson at second, but it took a second stab in trying to pick the baseball up, preventing Goodson from throwing to second for a possible out that way. Now looking for the third out in the inning against DiCello. The 1-2 pitch is hooked down the right field line, a fair ball and a base hit. Allenson rounding third. He will score. And a base hit for a good hitter in Sergio DiCello. And Cowlitz gets a little bit closer. It's now the Knights 8 and the Black Bears 2. And we'll have to see about whether or not the run ends up being earned. Bronson Neve, the batter. Without the error, you'd have first and third right now. And no run across. So we'll follow that on behalf of Mason Goodson, hoping to at least see the run rendered unearned. The pitch to Neve is swung on and missed. Bronson has flied to left and struck out. 8-2 Knights. Top of the 6th inning in the series finale with Cowlitz. The homestand and long run of games here in the Valley continue tomorrow night with Cascade Collegiate, the showcase team in town. Fastball in there for a strike. Good pitch by Mason. 0-2 the count. Mason Goodson spotting that one up beautifully. No balls and 2 strikes. The right-hander Mason Goodson trying to slam the door here in the inning. Delivers a 2-hopper back up the middle. Yukamoto throws to second. Not in time. DiCello runs too well, and DiCello is in safely. Now, Neve runs well, too. It was going to be a tough chance either way, but the best chance to get an out was at first. Brooke Knight is going to come out and maybe gather his team at the mound for a little talking to, not so much to Mason Goodson, but maybe to the entire bunch here. Hoping that maybe to get through. I don't know. He may make a pitching change, too, for all I know, and he will. But I also think this is an opportunity for Brook. Yeah, and so, yeah, I didn't think a pitching change was coming. A pitcher started to run in and out of the bullpen assuming that there was going to be a change, and he was being waved back. I think Brook is a little perturbed by what he thinks is maybe a lack of attention here the last couple of plays, not getting the ball stopped at first. It looked like an inning-ending double play ball was in order. Then maybe a decision that wasn't the best. Who knows? It's so hard to tell from up here and all of the circumstances on the field. But that visit by Knight wasn't to take Goodson out. I think it was to get everybody to, as the guy said in Walter Matthau's Plaza Suite, not the best of Matthau's films. He plays 3 different parts in 3 different roles. Walter Matthau, Plaza Suite, 1970-ish, thereabouts. But the bridegroom says to the bride who won't come out of the bathroom to get married, knocks on the door and says, "Cool it." After Matthau had spent 45 minutes trying to get her out with various pleadings. She would not come out to get married. The bridegroom comes up, knocks on the door, "Cool it." And out she comes. And I just felt like Brook Knight was saying, "Cool it." Come on, guys. Tighten it up a little bit. The first pitch, missing for ball 1, 1-0 to Will Anderson. First and second, 2 down. We'll see if the Knights can get that elusive third out here in the 6th. A turn and throw to second base by Mason Goodson. 8-2 Knights, but an opportunity for Cowlitz to draw a little bit closer. The 1-0 pitch on the way is low and inside. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Mason Goodson appearing in 2 games this past spring for a 40-win Oregon team, the pride of Stanwood, Washington, with a count of 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs. Delivers, swung on and missed. The count 2-1 to Will Anderson. 8 runs, 9 hits for the Knights. 2 runs, 7 hits for Cowlitz. Goodson out of the stretch. And the 2-1 pitch to Will Anderson, a ground ball foul back at first. And that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I hadn't seen that quite like that for a long time. The bullpen guy coming in and 2 or 3 of the Knights players, go back. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. Fastball in the turf, a late break, but then a little bit of hesitation on Tyler Howard's part, and on the wild pitch, safely in to third base goes Sergio DiCello, and Bronson Neve into second. So a very uneven inning continues for the Knights, with the count going to 3 balls and 2 strikes to Will Anderson, and a chance for a base hit here to turn a game that the Knights have been cruising along into something a little different than that. Would cut it to 8-4. And so a big pitch coming from Mason Goodson and the Knights. And a long look by Mason, and I fear that he may be close. He's not, evidently looking at a possible pitch clock violation. But whatever the case, the 3-2 pitch misses for ball 4 to load the bases. And here comes Brook Knight again, and this time instead of go back, it'll be come on in to whomever it is that was going to be running in earlier and was told to go back. We'll see that new guy now. I couldn't quite get a read. This time it's no false alarm. A pitching change is coming. Not a good inning, not the best of inning for the Knights. But they can still get out of it cheaply enough. Only 1 run has scored, but Cowlitz has loaded the bases We'll take a 2-minute pitching change break and see if our new guy coming in for the Knights can get that third out here in the 6th. 8-2 Knights, back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. The bases are loaded, 2 down. The Knights leading 8-2. And trying to get out of the inning for the Knights, right-hander Garen Rizzo, with only 1 run in, so all things considered, as rough of an inning as it's been. If Rizzo can get the final out, the Knights will certainly gladly take it and breathe a sigh of relief. Jaron Navarez takes high and away from Garen, ball 1. The 1-0 fastball, high and away, ball 2, 2-0. 8-2 Knights in the top of the 6th inning. Cowlitz loading the bases. And the Knights have missed some opportunities to end the inning, it seems, here in the 6th. The 2-0 pitch on the way is a strike, and the count 2-1. Garen Rizzo, 6'1", 185, out of Palos Verdes, George Allen country, and from USC. Rizzo making his 4th appearance, 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, no runs, a walk, and 5 strikeouts, a record of 2-0. Delivers, fastball hit foul, back of the plate and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So here we go, an opportunity for Rizzo to end the 6th here. Sergio Gicello at 3rd. Bronson Neve given a base hit on that chopper back up the middle at 2nd. Will Anderson at 1st. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, the sack's full. 8-2 Knights in the 6th. Rizzo delivers, breaking ball up and away. Ball 3, 3-0. Or 3-2, pardon me. The runners will go on the pitch as Cowlitz tries to get back in this ball game with a little help from the Knights. Runners poised to go. DiCello, Neve, and Anderson. Rizzo out of the stretch. 3-2 the count with 2 down. And the payoff pitch is high for ball 4. DiCello, who was on the move, scores. It's now 8-3. J.J. Kennett, the batter, has flied to right and singled to right. 2 runs in the frame. Cowlitz swept the doubleheader yesterday, and the Knights appeared to have completely dominated this early, scoring 4 in the first, 3 in the second, and led 7-0 after 2. Rizzo's fastball high and inside, ball 1 to Kennett. 1-0 the count. 7-0 after 2. The Black Bears picked up a run in the fourth. The Knights answered with one of their own and were cruising along again, so it appeared, 8-1. But here in the sixth, 2 runs in and a chance for Cowlitz to draw much closer. The 2-0 fastball from Guerin, a strike, and the count 2-1. And some more activity will begin in the Knights bullpen now, back of Rizzo here in a moment. Guerin with a 1-1 pitch. Fastball lifted to right and playable. Kaysen Consarinia moving over, makes the catch. The inning is over. Cowlitz does get 2. They leave 3. And just sort of the mood and the feel of the game shifted a little bit. We'll see if the Knights can get the bats going again and kind of reestablish themselves in full control of this one as we go to the bottom of the sixth. It's the Knights 8 and Cowlitz 3 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. John Casey. I talk about the love of baseball for Gene Riley. No one loves Oregon State athletics across the board than John Casey does, and John just informed me he will be 39 coming up on Sunday, July the 7th. And John comes to all the events, and he's here supporting the Corvallis Knights tonight. As we go to the bottom of the sixth inning, the Knights leading by a score of 8-3. Blake Wilson will lead things off for the Knights in the sixth. Blake has singled and scored. Singled again to drive in a run and scored in the second. Struck out on his last at-bat. The right-hander Mason Schmidt to the plate. Blake lifts one foul down the right field line. A long run for the first baseman, Will Anderson. The ball plops into the stands, the lower grandstand down the right side, just below the Jack Riley concourse. No balls and 1 strike to Blake. Kaysen Consarini on deck. Kevin Takeuchi to follow. A little bit of a rainbow as we look out to the northeast from our vantage point here. It's been that kind of day. A little precipitation, cloudy, and an effect we don't see that often here in the summer. A rainbow as we look northeast towards Albany. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Bunted up along third by Blake Wilson. Foul. And the count 1-2. Remember, tomorrow night is T-shirt giveaway night. I'm not sure that, I'm not told, but just be here early. On the promotional material that I have, it doesn't say the first so-and-so amount of fans. So just make sure you get here early for the 6:35 game, and you'll get the 2024 Corvallis Knights official T-shirt version. And then Saturday night, Horesco Chiropractic will give away baseballs to the fans who make their way into the ballpark first. So we hope to see you here the next couple of nights. Yes, Paul?
250.
250 on both of them?
Yeah.
Okay, Paul knows 250 on both. I don't know what I'd do without him. Breaking ball, strike three called, one away. Blake Wilson looks at a called third, and that'll bring to the plate Kaysen Concerenia. So in terms of the T-shirt giveaway tomorrow night, be amongst the first 250 fans presented by Corvallis Custom. And then Saturday night at 6:35, the first 250 fans will get a baseball, compliments of Horesco Chiropractic. Rodeo night on Tuesday, July 2nd. Fireworks night the following night. Mason Schmidt to Concerenia. Kaysen swings and misses, 0-1 the count. And rodeo night will be a little bit safer than the one in Sisters a while back. Don't worry about that. It'll be safe here. Strike one, breaking ball hits the top of the helmet of Kaysen Concerenia. Kaysen will head down to first with a breaking ball that just wouldn't come down for Mason Schmidt. And that'll bring Kevin Takeuchi to the plate, who's had a big ball game. Aboard on an error and scored in the first and has doubled in his last two at-bats. Drove in a run with his double in the second, doubled and scored in the fourth. 8-3 Knights in the sixth. Then Kelly Stinnett is heading out to the mound and I think is a little concerned about either the physical well-being of Mason Schmidt or is going to make a move, and it's the latter. I guess he's fine. But Stinnett walked out with the home plate umpire, Billy De La Garza. So we'll see a new pitcher coming in for Cowlitz with one out here in the bottom of the sixth inning. The Knights leading the Black Bears 8-3. And we'll take a 2-minute pitching change break on this cooling Thursday night here in the Mid-Valley. The Knights 8, Cowlitz 3, back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Eight to 3 Knights in the bottom of the sixth inning. Right-hander Calvin Prosky into the ballgame for the Cowlitz Black Bears. Cowlitz has used Mac Robertson, Aaron Plotner, Isaac Vasquez, Mason Schmidt, and now Prosky. The roster that we have and distributed to the fans reads Calvin Prosky, 6'3", 190, UC Santa Barbara out of Oak Park, California. But my own research shows Calvin being from Oak Park, Illinois. And within context, in the bio on the UCSB page. It is Oak Park, Illinois, where Calvin describes himself as a Chicago Cubs and Chicago Bulls fan, so Oak Park, Illinois makes a little bit more sense. He comes into the game to face Kevin Takeuchi. I'm not sure if there was something physical with Mason Schmidt. The reason I'm not exactly sure is the Knights' athletic trainer for this summer of 2024, Michaela, went over to see about, and she went into the dugout. I don't know what she was going into the dugout for, but Michaela Jepson, in her third summer as the Knights trainer, walked across the field into the Cowlitz dugout. The first pitch from Prosky to Takeuchi misses for ball one. The 1-0 pitch up and in, ball two, 2-0. So I don't know if that was to tend to Mason Schmidt or whatever took her across. She did indeed go across. The 2-0 pitch lifted to left field. Rowan Kelly makes the catch. Kaysen Consarinia got on the bag at first, did not go halfway. Tagged and went a few steps, but stays at first. 2 down here in the 6th. And Luke Lavin, the designated hitter, the batter. Singled home 2 runs in the first. A breath of fresh air for the Knights after getting stymied yesterday and losing both games of the doubleheader. Scored 4 runs in the first inning. Luke Lavin driving in 2. Luke has since hit the ball hard twice. Nothing to show for it, though, with groundouts to first baseman Will Anderson. Kaysen Consarinia at first with 2 down. The Knights leading 8-3. Prosky to the plate. Fastball high and away, ball 1. 1-0 to Luke. The 1-0 pitch, a late break by Consarinia. The throw to second is not in time, but Kaysen is in safely. Good base running. Pretty good throw by J.J. Kennett. Kennett threw from his knees and threw accurately. But Consarinia in with a stolen base. Another $30 donation made by Pape Material Handling and the Corvallis Knights to Community Outreach, Inc. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. The pitch on the way, misses up and away. Ball 2, 2-1 to Luke Lavin. Very colorful sky tonight with the clouds and the aforementioned rainbow. Rising a little bit higher in our vision beyond McAlexander Fieldhouse to the northeast. The 2-1 pitch to Luke is outside, ball 3. About 4 or 5 fans here tonight have chosen to, I don't know if they're trying to put a little bit of a hex on the pitcher Calvin Prosky or just trying to inspire Luke Lavin, but as the pitcher gets ready to deliver, the 4 guys in unison say Luke for a la Maurice Lucas. The 3-1 pitch down and in for ball 4. Luke Lavin trots down to first. And Brandon Cabrera will be the hitter. I'm not sure, and I've got to find this out, and we'll hope to know tomorrow. We'll be back with you tomorrow, 6:35 on T-shirt giveaway night. The Cascade Collegiate Showcase team in here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. But the why and the wherefore of Thomas Ferraggiaro leaving after 1 at-bat. The pitch to Cabrera getting his 3rd at-bat, lifted foul down the right field line and out of play. No balls and 1 strike. Thomas singled home a run in the first and has not played since. Brandon Cabrera flied to left in the second and had an RBI on an infield single in the 4th. Has a chance for another run batted in here against Calvin Prosky. With Kaysen Consarinia at second, Luke Lavin at first, and both runners will move up, with Prosky delivering a wild pitch all the way to the backstop. So a chance for 2 more RBIs now for Cabrera. Brandon Cabrera, frightening moment the other day, getting hit on a foul ball off his own bat, which ultimately was ruled a swinging strikeout. Adding insult to that injury. He did not, the ball came off his bat and up into his face. And he has the marks to show it on his countenance, but he's back in after missing yesterday's doubleheader. He takes inside for ball 2, 2-1. Prosky to the plate, swung on and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brandon Cabrera. With the Knights leading 8-3, an opportunity to really reestablish themselves in command of this one. The pride of Aloha High School, Brandon Cabrera takes low, ball 3, and the count is full. 3-2. Quinn Dufort on deck. Consarini up at third. Luke Lavin at second. 3-2 to Brandon Cabrera. The payoff pitch is drilled to deep left field. Back goes Rowan Kelly to the track, to the fence, off the top of the fence. Just missed so long. 2 runs will score. Into second base goes Cabrera. The Knights lead it 10-3. The best hit ball I've seen at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field from the Knights here in the season of 2024. C.J. Collier hit a 433-foot home run against the Springfield Drifters last week. But this one nearly left the yard of the 8-foot fence in the alley in left center field. Well struck by Brandon Cabrera. 3 RBIs on the night for Brandon, who wasn't even in the starting lineup. He told me that he was ready to play. He told Coach Knight, "Hey, Coach, I'm ready to play if you need me for a pinch hitter." Well, he came on in the second inning. A single, a 2-run double. He's driven in 3. He's at second, 10-3 Knights. And Quinn Dufort twisting away from a 1-0 pitch up and in, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Quinn. The Knights getting the 2 runs that it felt like they kind of gave back in the top of the 6th. They get 2 of their own. A young man out of the Gunderson baseball program from Ida B. Wells, Quinn Dufort, takes a strike, and the count 2-1 en route to the University of Portland. 2 balls and a strike to the left-hand hitting Quinn Dufort. Looking for his second RBI of the night. Slashes 1 foul over the head of Brooke Knight. That evens the count at 2-2. The Knights have scored 2 in the inning. 4 runs in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the fourth, 2 here in the 6th. Cabrera gets his lead from second. The 2-2 pitch from Prosky misses outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Quinn Dufort. Tyler Howard, the on-deck hitter. The 3-2 pitch taken. Strike 3 called. The inning is over. The Knights get the 2 runs back. A 2-run double for Brandon Cabrera. And at the end of 6, the Knights 10 and Cowlitz 3 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
This news that you can trust. Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community. Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, your one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
Through 6 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights 10 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. Cowlitz 3 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors. To the top of the 7th inning we go. Garen Rizzo delivers, and Keaton Grady rolls 1 foul back of the plate. Keaton has grounded to second, struck out, and is 0 for 3 on the night. The strike 1 pitch in there for strike 2 from Garen. No balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter for Cowlitz. 10-3 Knights in the 7th. Garen back to the plate. Fastball in there. Strike 3 called. 1 away. Rowan Kelly will be the batter. Rowan has struck out, had an infield single, and a base hit to left. Garen Rizzo and Tyler Howard, the Knights battery. Quinn Dufort at first, Peyton Miller at second, Tai Yukamoto at short. Now a ground ball to third, a nice backhand stab by Kevin Takeuchi playing third base. And Kevin fires to first. Nice play, 2 down, really nice play. Brandon Cabrera, who hit for Ferraggiaro in left field with a really nice play turned in by the third baseman, Takeuchi. Ground ball to short, and Tai Yukamoto fields and throws across. And pitching to contact after the strikeout looking. A little help from the left side of the infield. Takeuchi and Yukamoto take care of business. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The Knights 10 and Cowlitz 3 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. You know, just got to see Casey Lavin come by working as an editor for the Orange Media Network. He worked on these live stream broadcasts last year. Good to see Casey looking good. He says he's lifting and eating and just in the best shape of his life. Good for him. Ought to be young again, McDowell. With apologies to Chris Berman. A ground ball to short off the bat of Tyler Howard. Tyler Howard grounds out on the first pitch that he sees from Calvin Prosky. 1 away in the bottom of the 7th. Tyler had grounded into a double play, walked Blythe to center, now grounds to short. Peyton Miller, the batter. Peyton has twice grounded to second and popped out to first. 10-3 Knights in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1,194 in attendance. Curveball misses to Peyton Miller. 1 ball and no strikes. Tai Yukamoto on deck. Fastball pop foul, back of the plate, and this lands about 6 feet maybe from yours truly. I read it again fairly well, but just not close enough or quick enough to make a play on it. Back in the younger days, I might have. The pitch to Peyton Miller hits Peyton in the helmet. The second time that Prosky has hit a Knights hitter on the helmet. Miller gets up and will walk down to first. This one was a little bit more near the ear hole and not on top of the helmet as the pitch to Consarinho was last inning. Brooke Knight comes walking down to make sure that Peyton is okay. And a slow walk for Miller down to first, but it looks as though he will indeed be all right. That's the third hit batter of the evening by the Cowlitz pitching staff. Ty Yukamoto the batter. Ty is single to center, struck out looking, and popped to short. 10-3 Knights in the bottom of the seventh inning. Billy De La Garza smiling with catcher J.J. Kennett and with Ty Yukamoto. That was all to give Peyton Miller a little bit more time to kind of collect himself. The pitch to Yukamoto, a one-hopper to short. Grady shovels to DiCello for one and on to first for the inning-ending double play. A 6-4-3 twin killing. The Knights are gone in the seventh. But it's been a good night for the Knights. We go to the eighth. Corvallis 10 and Cowlitz 3 on the Knights live stream in Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Top of the eighth inning, Garen Rizzo ready to go to Andy Allenson. Andy will be followed by Sergio DiCello and then Bronson Neve. Rizzo's first pitch to Andy misses low and inside. Allenson has singled twice and been aboard on a fielder's choice. The 1-0 fastball a strike. Andy scored a run in the two-run sixth for the Cowlitz Black Bears. 1 ball and 1 strike to Andy Allenson. The 1-1 fastball fouled back in the count 1-2. Former Knights today. Stephen Kwan in a 2-1 loss by the Guardians went 1 for 5. He's flirting with 400, having himself an Ichiro-esque type year. Breaking ball misses, and that runs the count to 2-2. The Baltimore Orioles pounded Texas 11-2. Adley Rutschman, a seventh inning home run. He now has 55 runs batted in on the year. The 2-2 breaking ball down and in, ball 3, and pronounced by his manager without really a touch of hyperbole. But Brandon Hyde said Adley Rutschman is the best catcher in baseball. The 3-2 pitch, high and away for ball 4. A leadoff walk to Andy Allenson, and Sergio DiCello will come to the plate. DiCello has bounced into a forced play, had a sacrifice fly, and an RBI single. Good-looking hitter stepping in against Garen Rizzo, kicks and delivers, and a high pop-up. And the catcher can't find it, and so now trying to make the play, and we'll get an out called on the batter. The batter is out for interfering with the pitcher. Garen Rizzo coming in to try to make the play. You're out, buddy. Yeah, he's out. DiCello made no attempt to get out of the way of a pitcher coming in to make a play, and it's absolutely the right call. Absolutely, 100% without question, the right call. DiCello has no argument whatsoever under heaven, under the clouds, under the lights, under the sun. He's out. He's got to see where the ball is, and he's got to get out of the way of a defensive player trying to make a play, and that's why Kelly Stinnett, nor the first base coach, no one's arguing. DiCello stood there a la Kalijah in the box, didn't move, and he's out. So the right call is made, but DiCello didn't think so. The batter is Bronson Neve. Bronson takes a strike in the count 0-1. Sergio's a heck of a ball player, but he had no case there. He is out. The catcher, Tyler Howard, never found the ball, but with Guerin Rizzo coming down in foul territory to try to make the play, ran into the batter, DiCello, who needs to clear out of the way and make room for the fielder attempting to make the play. So the out recorded. Bronson Neve takes a strike in the count 0-2. Out of the stretch works Guerin Rizzo. The strike two breaking ball is down and the count 1-2. Brooke Knight told me that last night he dialogued a little bit with the umpiring crew about, tell me the rule on the non-interference call that they didn't make. He said, you tell me the rule, I'll walk away, and they never did. But a fielder has the right to make a play, and that's the rule. And he wanted to hear that from them, and he never really did. Here, they were very quick. The home plate umpire in Billy De La Garza calling DiCello out. Right now, you're out after last night's non-interference call that should have been made. Breaking ball in the turf. It gets away from Tyler Howard on the wild pitch. Down to second base goes Andy Allenson. The 2-2 breaking ball in there. Strike three called to Bronson Neve. 2 down. And Will Anderson will be the hitter. Anderson has struck out, grounded to short, and walked. Top of the 8th inning, 10-3 Knights. Guerin Rizzo from the stretch. Fastball stroke to center field. It'll drop for a base hit. Andy Allenson will be held at third. Blake Wilson gets the ball back in. Good swing for Will Anderson, dropping a single into center. Runners at the corners and 2 down. Jaron Nevera's the scheduled hitter. Jaron has struck out, grounded out, and walked with the bases loaded. 10 runs, 10 hits for the Knights. 3 runs, 8 hits for Cowlitz. The Knights trying to return to their winning form after getting swept yesterday. Starting the night at 18-5, Cowlitz at 10-10. First and third and 2 down here in the 8th. Guerin from the stretch comes to the plate. Fastball lifted to center and playable. Blake Wilson is right there. Blake under it and makes the catch. The inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Knights 10 and Cowlitz 3 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. On a special Brook night at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, bottom of the 8th inning, the Knights leading 10-3. Special guests have been here: Dick McLean, Jack Riley, friends of Brook Knight, the Knight skipper, 7 straight West Coast League championships, 10 overall for Brook. But maybe I'm sure for him, the most poignant and special message of all, shown on the big screen between innings as we go to the bottom of the 8th, from his son, Briley Knight. Briley is playing in the Independent Pioneer League for Great Falls and sent a message of love and thanks to his dad that just played between innings. It was really sweet. And it's, I think, important to remind, with Jack in the house tonight, that Briley, the name, it's an excellent name, Briley Knight, and Briley is named for. It's a combination of the Papa, Brooke, and Jack Riley. Blake Wilson takes low, ball 1, 1-0. Swings at the 1-0 pitch from Calvin Prosky. Hits a ground ball to second. Picked up by Sergio DiCello. One away, and Kaysen Consarinho will be the batter. Didn't mean to be too tough on Sergio. I've enjoyed watching him play these entire 4 games. He's a good baseball player. But not only was he incorrect about arguing that, hey, what do you mean? I'm just standing here. Well, he's got to make a move to get out of the way. But as Paul Blackburn pointed out, the ball might have come back fair. It was just barely foul, so he probably should have gotten out of the way and at least considered moving up the line just in case the ball was pushed by the wind, which is blowing slightly towards right, back into fair territory. The strike 1 pitch, grounded foul outside of third. No balls and 2 strikes to Kaysen Consarinho, who has scored 3 runs tonight. A board on an error in the first, an RBI double in the second, walked in the fourth, hit by a pitch, and scored in the 6th. No balls and 2 strikes the count to Kaysen Consarinho, who takes low and away, ball 1 from Calvin Prosky. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Calvin ready, the 1-2 pitch, a breaking ball, a fly ball to right field. Shea Bowen is right there to make the catch. 2 down in the bottom of the 8th. Kevin Takeuchi will be the hitter.
Here comes your third baseman from USC, number 23, Kevin Takeuchi.
Takeuchi having another good ball game. A board on an error and scored in the first, doubled homer run in the second, doubled again in the fourth and scored. Flied out to left in his last at-bat. Brook Knight will have a quick conversation with his hitter. Kevin Takeuchi will step into the plate now, with the Knights leading comfortably 10-3 on this cool evening here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Back at it tomorrow night. The first 250 fans to receive baseballs on their way in, or T-shirts. Ground ball to short, bobbled by Keaton Grady. Grady's throw to first subsequently is not in time. Routine ground ball. It'll be an error on Grady. And Takeuchi is aboard again on a miscue. And that'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Luke Lavin. The third error of the night on Cowlitz. 2 unearned runs in the first as a result of the first 2 errors of the ball game. The pitch to Luke is hit high in the air, hooking to right. Shea Bowen, though, has a play and makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, an error, and 1 left. We go to the 9th. The Knights 10 and Cowlitz 3 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community.
Branson Keel, and we're going to kind of close with Branson after opening our live stream tonight with a conversation with Branson Keel. Branson will try to get the final 3 outs against the Cowlitz Black Bears as we go to the top of the 9th inning. The Knights leading 10-3. Branson back for a second summer with the Corvallis Knights, and in a very real sense, by request, as he talked to me about before the game, and Gary Henderson saying the same thing as Gary sat with me for a couple of innings in yesterday's doubleheader. Branson will make his 7th appearance with the Knights this season, 7 1/3 innings thus far, 7 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. A record of 1-0 with a couple of saves, an ERA of 3.68, a non-save situation, of course, for Branson tonight out of Rapid City, South Dakota. The second reference tonight to in the top 5, I think. Hitchcock's body of work is large. And the great films of the master. But I put North by Northwest in the top 5. I can't give all 5 right now. I'd have to think about it. But I've always been thinking about what Hitchcock did. I've always thought North by Northwest was one of his great works. And the way James Mason pronounces Rapid City, South Dakota has stuck with me for a lifetime. That final incredible scene on Mount Rushmore is a good one. And so the pride of Rapid City, South Dakota, and the University of Utah, Branson Keel. The other reference to Roger Thornhill, Cary Grant, the Thornhills, Tyler Howard's host parents, are in the ballpark. Roger Thornhill, Cary Grant, winning the battle at the top of Mount Rushmore. 1959, North by Northwest. It's a good one. Branson Keel misses high and inside, ball 1. He comes back to the plate, fastball away, ball 2. 2-0 to J.J. Kennett. 10-3 Knights in the top of the 9th inning. J.J. has flied to right, singled to right, and popped out. 2 balls and no strikes. Branson trying to get this ball game over, but his 2-0 pitch misses for ball 3, 3-0. The Knights have used James DeCramer, who was excellent, Mason Goodson, Garen Rizzo, and now Branson Keel, and trying to split this 4-game series. The 3-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 3-1. Top of the 9th inning. Keel wants little to do with a free pass with a 7-run lead, so he'll be looking to throw another strike on 3-1. He does. It's a chopper on the swing, chopped up along third, off-balance throw to first. Nicely done by the excellent athlete, Kevin Takeuchi. J.J. Kennett grounds out, and that'll bring to the plate Keaton Grady. Keaton, the leadoff hitter, left-handed hitting shortstop, has grounded to second. Struck out, popped out, and struck out again. 0 for 4 for Keaton. Branson Keel did a nice job, 3-0, and ends up getting it out. And now a ground ball to short. Yukamoto charges, gloves, fires, and gets him. 2 down. Keaton Grady retired, and Branson Keel and the Knights are an out away from getting the split of the 4-game series. Non-league action for the next three coming up for the Knights. The Cascade Collegiate Showcase team out of the Cascade Collegiate League for the next two nights. And the Mid-Valley Southpaws here for a Sunday afternoon affair. 6:35 the next two nights. 5:05 on Sunday, a day off Monday. Back home again Tuesday with the big fireworks extravaganza on Wednesday. The first pitch missing high, ball one, 1-0 to Rowan Kelly. Two outs, nobody on in the ninth. Branson Keel trying to end it right here. The 1-0 pitch, fastball for a strike. Rowan has struck out, had an infield single and scored. A single to left in the sixth, grounded to third in the seventh. 1-1 to Rowan Kelly. From the stretch, the right-hander Branson Keel with nobody on delivers, slice foul towards the TNT Builders party deck in the left field corner. One and two, the count to Rowan Kelly. Incoming freshman of the outstanding program at UC Santa Barbara. Menlo Atherton High School began at Bellarmine College Prep. Down to the final strike. Cowlitz Black Bears Rowan Kelly takes low and inside, ball 2, 2-2. The Knights took charge of this one early. 4 runs in the first, 3 in the second. Cowlitz a run in the fourth. The Knights answered that. Cowlitz 2 in the sixth. The Knights answered that with 2 of their own. 10-3 in the ninth. The 2-2 pitch hit foul into the upper grandstand. The youngster was well prepared. Paul Blackburn was telling me that one fan down the line, down behind the Cowlitz dugout, was hit by 2 foul balls tonight when he wasn't really looking. Was not injured by either one, but he was getting the business a little bit from some of the Knights fans. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 10-3 Knights in the ninth. The 2-2 pitch on the way, that's chop foul. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rowan Kelly. Shea Bowen on deck should Rowan manage to extend the ball game on this cool Thursday, 1,194 on Brook Night. Distinguished guests and an Australian flavor to the proceedings throughout the evening. 2-2 to Kelly. Branson Keels, 2-2 pitch. Tap foul at the plate again. So Rowan battling, that's good to see. Heading into an excellent program and ended up at Menlo Atherton High School, but Bellarmine College Prep, I know, a very good baseball school through the years. So he's well prepared, it appears. Talented player getting ready to begin his collegiate career this fall. The 2-2 pitch, Rowan backs away and takes ball 3, 3-2. 10-3 Knights in the top of the ninth inning. And a great battle by Rowan Kelly. I admire the competitiveness here late. Down 7 runs, but fighting every pitch. And he swings, and it's a one-hopper speared on the hop by Takeuchi. Throws to first, and it gets by Quinn Dufort, but not far enough for any advancement. Probably a base hit, because even if the throw from Takeuchi would have been clean, no, Brooks Hatch doesn't see it that way. Even a clean throw, it would have been close. But it'll be an error on Kevin Takeuchi, who's been making some fine plays defensively at third. But Rowan Kelly, thanks to his competitiveness, extends the game for Shea Bowen. A 2-out throwing error on Takeuchi. Shea Bowen at the plate, and he takes a strike. The count 0-1. Brandon Cabrera will be our Washington Park Advisors player of the game. I hope to get a chance to visit with him after the game and file an interview for tomorrow's pregame. Didn't even start the game. It ends up with the team leading 3 RBIs. The strike 1 pitch, tap foul by Shea Bowen. No balls and 2 strikes, and became the closest Knights player to hit one out of this ballpark this summer. On a cool night, the ball not really traveling that well. But he hit one off the top of the 8-foot fence in the alley in left center on his 2-run double. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 10-3 Knights in the top of the ninth inning. Rowan Kelly not being held on by Quinn Dufort. Keel delivers in the turf, and the count goes to 1-2. Bowen is struck out, grounded to first, flied to left, and grounded to short. 10 runs, 10 hits. 2 errors now for the Knights. 3 runs, 8 hits. 3 errors for Cowlitz. Keel again a strike away from ending the series on a good note for the Knights. Comes to the plate, taken, strike 3 called, and Shea Bowen didn't think so. He gets rung up to end the game, but it is over, and Branson Keel gets the final 3 outs. The Knights improve to 19-5 on the year. They split the 4 games with Cowlitz. 10 runs, 10 hits, and 2 errors for the Knights. 3 runs, 8 hits, and 3 errors for Cowlitz. The Knights, after getting swept yesterday, came out with a bit of a vengeance, it seemed, here tonight, with 4 runs in the first and 3 in the second, and they cruise home to a 10-3 victory, and now we'll have the next 3 games off league play. They'll be here, and we hope you'll be here too, and early. The first 250 fans tomorrow will get the new T-shirt from 2024. It'll be a T-shirt giveaway night tomorrow night. The first 250 fans to get those T-shirts, compliments of Corvallis Custom, and then Horesco Chiropractic will sponsor baseball giveaway night the following night, both games against the Cascade Collegiate League Showcase team. Brandon Cabrera is our Washington Park Advisors player of the game with his 3 runs driven in. I'm going to get down to the field and try to visit with him here in a moment. My thanks to Rich Dorman for stopping by to talk about a lot of different things, including the fine pitching of the Knights starter tonight, James DeCramer, and to talk about the Knights and his appreciation of all that Dan and Brooke and the coaches and the organization do. It was Brooke night tonight. We had a good time. Great to see Jack Riley and Dick McLean in the house. And great to have all of you in the house tonight. 1,194 on hand. And for the crew tonight of Evan Bach, Brian Thomas, Andrew Roderick, and Dale Hummel. This is Mike Parker thanking you for joining us at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, where the Knights defeat the Cowlitz Black Bears 10-3. We'll talk to you tomorrow night at 6:25, right back here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. So long, everybody.